All things Bulldogs. Here we go, here we go. Yeah. Here we go. Blue and white pride. Bulldogs for life. Dog father here. Gas by my side. All things Bulldogs. Talking dogs tonight. Dog father and gas. Blue and white pride. All things Bulldogs. Footy talking ball. Dog father and gas. Bulldogs to the core. Bulldog spirit. Strong and true. Blue and white. Through and through. G-Day Doggies fans, welcome to the show. All things Bulldogs. Here we go, here we go. Hey! Here we go. Hey!
G'day, Doggies fans, all things Bulldogs, and it's Team Tuesday. It's the Tuesday night podcast, and we're live again with Gas and yours
G'day,
truly.
everyone.
How you
G'day,
going, everyone?
G'day, Brian. Good to see you there, buddy.
Oh, we got one fan. That's good. Oh, there's 20 blokes just jumped on. So sorry, we're not going live to Twitter at the moment.
G'day, Bulldog Mike. G'day, Sayed.
Oh, sorry, mate.
You're all right, mate.
Go down to Sayed. G'day, Bulldog. Read your comment before, Sayed, so we'll talk about that later as well. So thank you for joining us tonight, guys. And obviously, like and subscribe. You can watch, well, a lot of people do watch this podcast tomorrow and a few days later. I'll download it to Spotify sometime tonight as well. But good to see everybody. We've got a lot happening, of course, with a lot of injuries at the moment. So some players getting their opportunities and some more players named in the extended squad. We'll also, g'day, how you going, Tony? Good to see you, mate. We'll obviously talk about Walking for Autism as well. We've got another jersey to give away for this month. And we're going to talk about, look, I know we've been talking a lot about fans who are carrying on and all that sort of stuff, but I think with the stuff that's come out in the media stories, what I just want to talk about is why it's happening, and you know, and how to not really get affected by it. It probably seems like we do get affected by it, but it's more so that Canterbury is a different club to a lot of clubs, being non-for-profit. Things can be volatile, and if the fans who are voting members decide they want change, they can literally make that happen at any point. And that is dangerous because that's something we need to really consider. And I'm not saying those people don't consider it with a lot, and the current board and everything got a lot of support out there. Don't you worry about that. As they should, because people shouldn't have too short memories. But yeah, we will talk a little bit about that. We're also going to try and keep it a little bit more succinct if we can. So Gas will be, and I'll use it too if I have to on Gas. But we'll just have a few little noises you might hear if I'm waffling on a bit. Yeah, so lots to talk about, guys.
I'm reining him in, guys. I'm reining him in. G'day, Aki.
That's it. So we'll probably have spin the wheel tonight. Obviously, we're not too far off. We got a $30 donation on Sunday, which we'll add into that. I think we're maybe only $5 or $10 off. But there's probably only been about 6 people or 7 people who are in the running for that. So that's a chance at a $40 voucher. Then what we'll be doing is putting all of our resources into a jersey, raising as much money for the channel so we can raise more money for Walking for Autism. And happy to say so far we've already raised over $820, $820, which means we've only got $680 to achieve our team target. And a big thank you to Gas, who's in the team. Dave's on the team as well. Dave's coming out with a couple of not too many stats with the Dolphins. And Pete's got a stat for us tonight as well with the Dolphins game. But so I'll let you know about that. It's a pretty big stat when it comes to our halfback, and a good one. So things to keep in mind. Ty Tuivasa, the linebacker. So we've got some people from obviously into NFL and stuff, UFC. They'll come, they'll say a few things, and then they'll probably leave, guys. So welcome to you all, though. This is Australia. This is where we play gladiator sport. And this is how good it goes. Oh, thank you. Let's get it happening. Am I playing with the thing at the same time as you, Gas, or what? What's happening? Yep.
Yes.
All righty.
Yes, mate.
We're from Australia,
Shall we?
Kevin. Big up Australia. That's it, brother. Big up Australia. That's right. Aussies know. When you know, and we know.
Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. Aussie, Aussie, Aussie.
AUS. AUS. There we go. Not very nice, are we? Tall poppies. So we're going live on Instagram, on Facebook, and on YouTube in a couple of different formats. Good to see everybody here so far. Come say hello. Get on the chat. Bulldogs A. Bulldogs A. Now, it looks like a photo at Shoe Grab. So I thought it was Aki, but that'd just be someone else who got a photo at Shoe Grab, I would suggest. Let's get into it, guys. Are we happy with this team this week? Look, there's a bloke called Larry, guys. If Larry talks NRL, yeah, good bloke. Because my name was the Dogfather, he wouldn't actually read anything I had to say. So there you go. And I was being respectful. But Serrato's just too stubborn, apparently. That's just a great narrative.
The good news is we're huge underdogs, which is great.
We are.
Last time that happened, we had a win. Let's hope that continues.
Let's have a look at the sides. We'll get the we're going to talk about New South Wales Cup as well, Jersey Flag, Ron Massey Cup. 2 players so far not named in Ron Massey, which would indicate we take a team up on Thursday to the Dolphins, probably have a couple of guys that'll go from that game and play New South Wales Cup on the Saturday. Couple already named in that team will drop back to Ron Massey or Flegg, and it'll just be a butterfly effect. But we're all about winning here. We're all about raising money for charities. We're all about talking good things about our Bulldogs, understanding what's going on and how we can get out of this mess without disrespecting people along the way. Showy says the Dolphins are simply too fast. Well, Penrith were just simply too good as well. So,
yeah.
But look, that back line, the way the centre came back into that side, it's these guys with that build like a Jacob Preston, a Jacob Carraz, these lanky, long striding guys now. Matt Burton probably a little bit in that, but he's got massive legs as well. But I don't know. There's just these lean, awkward guys. They seem to be the ones that are loving the NRL. You know, the Todu Colas. Fualalo's another one that's come in for Manly. He looks very, very good. There's a lot of these really good sort of body types that are starting to dominate from what I can see. Seem to have really big engines and, you know, not just all brute force and power. You know what I mean? Like, they're just different types of shapes starting to emerge. Very good at attack. What's happening? How do we stop? What's happening on here, mate? What's up next there, Gas?
Here, mate. Sayed's got a. Well, let's go to Brian first. Actually, happy seeing AJ getting a go at replacement lock by the look of it.
Potentially.
Mm.
I will talk about that. I've got this theory with the numbers at the moment.
Sayed's interested on Jack Todd update, whether he'll stay with us and make his way back. Also, I'd like to know the extent of Wood's injury. Obviously, very serious if it's been out this long. I think with Wood, it's been recurring. It's he keeps pushing too hard too soon, and it seems like he keeps aggravating the hamstring. I don't think it's the same like first initial hamstring that he had in the off season. I think it's something that he keeps doing where every time he feels like he's close and they're getting him ready, he keeps recurring that injury. So even I think Seraldo pointed out to it that he's been pushing a bit too hard sometimes, and that's just the eagerness wanting to get back out there, guys. So and look, for him I spoke to him a couple of weeks ago. He's very excited, guys. He's keen. He wants to be out there playing, irrespective, cup, wherever, proving himself and giving himself the opportunity and being ready for the call. This is his opportunity this year. Like, if we were to lose a half and he was playing well, he'd be straight in, like, almost. So he knows the opportunity and the time's there. He just wants to, he's keen to get himself fit and get out there and get ready. So I haven't heard any more from Jack Todd, still indefinite at the moment. Have you heard any more on Jack Todd, Michael?
No, still, yeah, it's just marked as indefinite. So he had a really poor head knock, and obviously must be still showing effects from that, or he would be brought back. And if that's the thing, if they show any side effects, there's a sort of certain time they have to play. So on the question, will he stay with us and make his way back? Look, there's a chance that if he doesn't get to prove himself, that they might extend him for one more year, or even put him on a development list, or do something to keep him with the club if there's sort of no interest. I noticed they gave Chris Patolo like 2 of those 1-year contracts, from what I could tell, because he just kept getting injured. Hasn't really worked out for him since leaving as well. He's just one of those guys who just couldn't get his body right, unfortunately, to play to his potential. And hopefully that's not the same with Jack. That gives me hope with Jack is, he's broken arms, like both arms. It's not like, and this is a head injury. It's not really his fault, sort of thing. Not saying any injury is your fault, but it's not that he's just one of these players prone to injury. It's just worked out that way with the collisions and things that have happened. So breaking arms, like it's pretty full on. Can happen to anyone out there at any time. So come on, mate. But anyway.
I just wanted to see.
I knew I was going to love it. I just wanted
to see your reaction. It's all right. Got a bit red there, mate.
Yeah, and the Woods thing, exactly what Gas already said. So trust the process. Thank you, Bulldogs. Mike, love it.
Thanks, guys.
Hoping to meet you one day, brother, as well. And how do we stop Farnworth and Hammer? Well, Herbie, I think Herbie's a more dangerous player when he tries to do a little bit less.
Mm.
I felt he was trying a bit too hard the last few weeks in the games I watched, but I felt much better on the weekend. I've actually felt the Dolphins' performance was similar to the Cowboys and us. I really felt like, even though the Cowboys led us at halftime and Storm led the Dolphins, I still felt the games were similar in a way, that like huge differences in that. But what I'm trying to say is that they went there knowing that the Storm were going to try and dominate and beat them on effort and all that sort of stuff. And they just held their nerve, and then were able to and back their process to score some tries. And so I think we're going to get a similar, obviously a home team for the Dolphins are the home team again. Really tough period for the Bulldogs. And I'm worried about Bostock. He's just one of these kids who makes things happen. Herbie's just all effort and always seems similar to Carraz in that at his best, always able to get an offload when he wants, awkward, crashes through the line, really tries hard in defense, quite quick as well, quite intelligent. And the hammer, like, what can you say? When he turns it on, he turns it on. We don't have the Fox in our team running, this time. And but just to get Pete's little thing out there, it was a really quick one that he said. What did he say? Here he goes. Dolphins had their first ever win against the Bulldogs last year. It was similar time last year, round 12 at a call. They beat us 44-8 in that rain, and I think both sides were missing about 6 players.
Origin affected, yep.
Pete wants that effing reversed. He's hoping that Satili starts on the left and actually wants the side that's been named to remain unchanged if O'Sullivan is fit. He was limping with ice after the Cup game. So there you go.
There's a lot of similarities at the moment in where we stand in the season. So both teams have won 3 from 8. Both are conceding 24 points a game. The only difference at the moment is they're scoring 23 points a game. We're scoring about 18 points a game. Yeah. Everything else on most of the stats, the play the balls, the completions, everything else is very similar on both teams. So they just come off 4 losses in a row the other day, and when they beat the Storm, but they were also sort of not playing to their potential. And obviously everyone knows where we're at. So they're a heavy favourite because it's their home ground and they've got the firepower, obviously. So everyone's expecting them to win. Everyone's expecting them to just do what they do, and that should be enough. But that's hopefully where we shine, because the last time we had that everyone expecting us to lose situation is when we sort of upset the team that has not been upset by anyone else yet. So, and even though they've beaten us last time, there's only been three matches between the two guys. It's only 3 times we've played each other. So
we've both won 1 out of our last 5. And there you go. So these are the stuff that you're talking about. We're completing a bit better than them. Conceding is similar. They're playing at the ball faster. They're getting a pretty good record for a new side at Suncorp.
Suncorp, yeah.
So there you go. And Jeremy Marshall King is on the extended bench for them as well. Do you want to just go through the teams, Gas?
Yep. So obviously got Connor Tracy against the Hammer side, Tabio Fido. Jermaine Azarko lining up again, or you got Jonathan Sewer, you got Jack Bostock, who's now back from injury. He played last week, played very well, scored a few tries. And Cherry, Herbie Farnworth, international, and Stephen Crichton, another international as well. Selwyn, hot and cold, Rocks and Diamonds, Cobbo, and Inari Tawala. Brad Schneider, who's obviously come out of the Penrith system as well, and Matty Burton, likewise. Katoa, another one out of the Penrith system, who's igniting. His season this year hasn't been like last year, and Lockie Galvin, who's probably been one of our most consistent players all year.
So Katoa, so far so he's had 76 appearances. So he's averaging 430 kicking meters. So he's doing pretty much all the kicking. He's had 8 try assists and 8 line break assists, which is pretty good. 3 offloads, 497 receipts. So we'll see how much ball he's getting in comparison with Galvin, who's played the same amount of games, I'm pretty sure. He's tackling at 86.9%, running 87 meters. So let's compare him with Galvin for something to do. Four tries for Lockie Galvin, 11 forced dropouts. So something that wasn't on. It's like each team decides what it wants to show for the stats for each player. It's never aligned, which is annoying. Only 2 try assists for Galvin, but 8 line break assists, which is the same as Katoa. And look, Katoa has been a halfback his whole career and has been developed in this role to the absolute minute. 4 offloads. So he's had more possessions than Katoa, which has to also be taken into account. And that's probably something we'll talk about as well a bit later on. 197 tackles made at 90. So he's tackling at a better efficiency than Katoa and attempting more tackles. He's running more meters than Katoa and probably averaging more points by the look of it. Well, that was very similar. So look, he's in my opinion, Galvin is playing like his effort and his involvement is very good. Exactly what we want.
The noise is definitely quieting down on Galvin. Like everybody is frustrated with the team results, but they always throw the comment in, yeah, but Galvin's been consistent. He's been playing well across the board. So it's not an issue from exactly Galvin. It's just a combination of a lot of other things together. So as long as that effort stays there, results like the ones against Penrith are going to become more frequent.
So Tommy Flegler's back, 7 appearances this year. Sam Hughes and him lining up. He's averaging 8 hit-ups a game. He's got 8 offloads, so he's getting 1 offload per game, which is a big thing. Tackling at a 97% efficiency, running for 101 meters. And he's been playing, pretty much been playing 40 minutes a match since the Titans game. He only played 22 minutes, but every other game he's played above 36. He'll be averaging about 40 minutes per game for the Dolphins this year, which is a pretty good comeback considering. Offloading as well. And it actually increasing his output week in, week out. So he's a state of origin enforcer, this guy, and one they've had to wait for and get ready. He is an absolute class player and a player that I was hoping the Dogs would have targeted if they could have. Obviously, no intention of leaving Queensland. How's Sammy Hughes been going? 7 appearances this year. So he's averaging 1 less hit up than Flegler, only the 1 offload, but he tackles at 98%, only averaging 67 meters. But you'll look his minutes.
A lot less minutes, yeah.
Basically, they were building him up to a point where he got to 43, and then against the Cowboys was 23. Now, I think he will play more minutes this week. I just got that feel. Look, if we hold the ball and have a bit more possession over the 80, I think you'll find he'll play a bit more minutes. And it also depends on the injuries and stuff. But he had one of his best performances against the Broncos, 141 meters. And I think that's where he got the offload and stuff as well. So, look, obviously not as classy as Flegler, but he does his best first, and probably want to see. They've got fabulous Frankie Molo, Max Plath, Bailey Hayward, and Leo Thompson. We saw what Leo did last week. It was about 167 meters off 19 hit ups. And that's more than what he would have done at other sides. So he's been building in to become a first hit up guy, to be the leader of a pack. What's Frankie been doing this year? He actually played I think Francis played his first game for the Dolphins when he was against us last year. I think he was a mid-season transfer from the Dragons or something, if I remember correctly. But what has he been playing? Probably similar to Hughes. So if we look at it, Molo's sort of comparable with Hughes, and Thompson's to be compared with Flegler if we're looking at the starting people there. But what's his tackle rate at? Does it even say? 95%. So there you go. Couple offloads. 31 years old too, so he's not young. Fuck, what happened there? All right. That wasn't good. Anyway. We've got the rest of this team list, mate. Second rowers.
Yeah, Lemuelu against Tupanua. Fikawi against Jacob Preston. Just keep scrolling down, buddy.
Yep.
Morgan Knowles and Jamin Salmon to lock up the scrums. And on the bench, Ray Stone and AJ Jones, Tommy Gilbert and SOS, Sean O'Sullivan. Felice, the worst haircut in the NRL, Kafusi and Harry the Man Hayes. And Keeley versus Curran. And coming off the bench, Impact, Nicarima, and covering the backs, Montoya. And Jeremy Marshall King, I think, making his first appearance for the year against Lipoi Hopoi. Been out for quite a while. On the bench, the extra reserves, Trey Fuller, the danger man that some people want Bulldogs to sign. Jethro Rinakama, rewarded for some good form in the Cup. And Nafauho and Chan Kum Tong. And Lewis Simons and the captain of New South Wales Cup, Logan Spinks, getting another opportunity to train with the team in the famed number 23 jersey this week.
There you go. All right. Good stuff. So let's actually I want to highlight Galvin again. So Dave's deep dive. Now we believe this stat to be true. The Galvin is one of three players. If we look for his last three games, he's actually scored 3 tries, a try in the last 3 games, and he's actually scored 4 out of the last 5. Apparently, there's only 3 halfbacks in history which has scored a try 3 matches in a row, and the only 1 halfback in history to score a try 4 games in a row. And that player apparently is Nathan Cleary. But there's a caveat around it that we think. So Dave's been searching this stat everywhere and looking as deep into it as he can, because that's his deep dive. And that appears to be true at this point. If anyone else has anything else, you're sure to let us know. So what do you think about that, Gas? What do you think about that for the deep dive?
It's pretty good, mate. It's pretty good. So let's go through some of the chats, mate, and see where we're at. So we've got some people watching from Japan and Papua New Guinea. So welcome.
All right.
I know he won't make too many changes, but Shoei was giving us his side this week. Critter to fullback, Tracy to the wing, Birdo to centers, SOS to half, and Galvin to the 5/8 role. So it's another opinion.
Look,
Um,
if the coach does it, I'll be just like, let's do it. Let's go for it. You
if
know,
they've trained for it and they're ready for it, let's go. Yep.
yeah. Tony, I think that yeah. To me, Sauce has got a lot of work to do. Look,
Yep.
even though the winning play, like he takes it, he's a really. I just found him to be really inconsistent. If you go back to the Penrith games where he's stepped up when they needed him, when Cleary and that were in Origin or injured, he was like literally. It was like Cleary was still there.
Mm.
He played that well in some of those games, so he's got it in him to play well, and the club signed him for a really good reason. But I just haven't been convinced yet. But I'm not the one that needs to be convinced. So it doesn't matter. He's got to convince the coaches and that have got a lot of faith in him, and I'll be rooting for him hard if he gets his opportunity. So look, it's not the worst idea, but what was just annoying from a fan point of view is that a lot of the fans who haven't hardly even watched him play, or not even watched him play, were saying he needs to be our 7 because he did well in a trial when Birdo got injured. That's sort of just, this is where we just try and keep it where we just try and keep a hold of it and go, hey, come on. Because look, not everyone's interested in watching Cup or has time to dedicate that much time to footy in that. Like, but anyway, that's the fair side. But I don't know. I really don't know. I think they've got to just keep the combinations they've got and try and get those to work, because eventually they do.
Yep. What's one change you would make defensively?
Defensively, well, that's a very interesting point. I found that I just think it's harder to defend mistakes than it was. I just think you're punished in a different way. Defensively, the change I would make is to give away more 6 against and put a lot of pressure on teams. That's what I'd be doing, and trying to just force them into errors. I think we sort of did that against Penrith. I think even though they got back into the game, they never sort of got control of it. And we were able to sort of, and they kept dropping the ball as more than we did. So yeah, I think we have to be in their face. We have to. There needs to be longer time on the ground with that attack against us. We need to wrestle better. But it's really hard. It's a hard thing to say when you're getting told to be more disciplined, and then you're giving away penalties because you're holding them down too long. It's a really hard thing to get right. And the refs are so inconsistent every game. Like, let's be honest. When you're seeing what we see on the last 3 weekends, especially, has just been an absolute rabble in some games.
There's a follow-up question there on that question. Is it a confidence thing or just down to the opposition outplaying the team?
I think last week the back 5 of the Cowboys were more in sync and did their job better. They gave us opportunities because they made mistakes. So I felt they outplayed us, and I felt their forward pack. We had periods of dominance and they had periods of dominance, but at the end of the day, they took their opportunity. So is it being outplayed? I think we're playing our game that we want to play as far as the way we control things for long periods. And when the coach goes and says that stuff, I actually agree with it, if you're really watching it. But I think it's just harder to do. It's just really hard to do at the moment. And there needs to be a new strategy with it. We have to be better with the way we're on the ground. We have to be better in the way we use the way the refs refereeing the game. It's not just a simple case of take them out of it for us, because we are probably, if the hammer gets through, we're not running him down. That's just how it is. So we can't concede that way. So if they decide to put little chips in, all that sort of stuff, it's going to come down to positional play, backing our defense over and over. Could be a really bad day for the Bulldogs at Suncorp, but it can also be a really can turn our season around big time. For me, it's not about the win so much. It's about how closer they get to be able to ask questions in attack. That's important. There needs to be more questions asked. If they're throwing balls and making break and then just stuffing it on the last play or whatever on the last pass, you can handle that. Although you'd be like, even the sewer thing. We got a bit of luck off the post, but if he passes that, we probably score. But who's to say that O'Sullivan doesn't knock the ball down when he passes it as well? Like that could have happened too.
Brian's done a
confidence thing. It's not just a confidence thing.
Brian's done a donation on PayID, Mick, as well. Thank you, Brian.
Thank you again, Brian. And I've got a spreadsheet that I'm keeping a track of everything. So we're having a draw tonight, which is beautiful. So thank you, guys.
Brad Castle 9. If Connie gets a crack and Dora, well, that might not be good for Woods.
And Dora? Is that Dykes or
maybe Dykes? Maybe autocorrect.
Yeah, that's fine. Iron sharpens iron, as Willie says on Levels Network a million times. Iron sharpens iron. Iron sharpens iron. If Conti gets a crack, that's good. We don't care who plays in a position. All we care about is when they get their opportunity that they're ready, and their career is not impacted by having to play too early. So, like Gordon gets to potentially play this week because he might be just the last man standing at the moment. Because there's no Turpin, there's no Kurt Mann. And if Sean O'Sullivan's injured, Gordon's on the development list. Or they could go Patrick Young. Gordon's probably more. He actually goes all right coming off the bench. They've been starting him to give him to get that fitness from starting and to not make mistakes under fatigue and to not miss tackles under fatigue and stuff. But he's handled coming off the bench in NRL before. He's done it before, and he could do it for us to give Hayward a break if that's what needed to happen.
So that was the follow-up question on that one, just to clarify.
Rodney, what was it?
Yeah, it was if Connie gets to go soon and does really well. I wonder where that leaves Woods in the long term. Will they get taken away quickly?
Woods has to play cup.
Yeah, he's got to dominate cup first before he can do anything else. Yeah,
he's got to play. He needs to play.
All these factors are still up in the air until it actually happens. It can go any which way but loose. Rodney's asking what's going on with the Bulldogs. Keep watching the show, mate. We'll talk about that as we go. But there's a lot of little things that are going right, a lot of little things are going wrong, and a lot of things that are not going our way, luck-wise, etc. So I feel, honestly, if we get a few things go our way, we can turn things around. I think the players are a bit sort of what's the word, befuddled. Let's just call it that one. They're going out there, they're putting in the efforts, they're doing what they know has worked for them in the last sort of 18 months, 2 years to be successful. But the way that the game's changed, they're just not getting the same results. Defense is not, the key thing that it was before. The possession, everything's changed. So I think the players are a bit sort of unsure, with the effort they're putting in, they're going, we're doing all the right things, we're getting everything ready, we're preparing right, we're doing what we need to do. And then the results aren't happening. So that's where you just got to keep applying and keep putting that effort. And at the moment, if you look across the NRL all the way through, other than Penrith, it's still a very open competition. It's anyone that strings together, like one minute Roosters were down, in the bottom of the 8 or bottom of the, top of the bottom 8, all of a sudden they're in the top 4. Just you put 4 or 5 wins together, guys, everything can change. That's the way that this NRL is at the moment. The way that it's been played, the inconsistencies with the results and teams copping 50 one week and winning the week after. It's just that kind of sort of situation where it still hasn't settled down yet. Now, whether it will or not, it usually does, but it hasn't yet. So any team that sort of can find their feet now and get on a roll, which I'm hoping we can do, we can probably put ourselves back in the 8 and start to control our destiny. So that's the goal, and that's what the players will be trying to do. Will Gordon, Chan Kum Tong be added to the bench? Possibly. As Michael just said there, could be happening. We definitely need, for Brian saying, we definitely need a couple of Birdos kicks at Cobbo this week. Hopefully, mate. Yes. Look, these are all little things that when the players do the reviews, when the coaches are doing their video sessions, when they're analyzing all the opposition, they know they know, for example, Cobbo has received 37 kicks from Burden in 12 games, and he's caught them at 60%. They'll know. They look at every single aspect of it, guys. So they'll know in the game, who do we want to kick to more? Do we go left? Do we want to go right? And basically that's how the game's played. Same as what we did against Penrith. We completely stayed away from To'o, and we just kept kicking to Jenkins the whole game. That's why Galvin was exclusively kicking down the right.
So I think they try to normally kick to the player which they don't want taking the second hit up the most. So you'd probably kicking to Cobbo because you'd prefer to have a Sarko doing the next hit. But honestly, they can use a number of different players to fulfill that are really good out of that end. So Bostock and Farmworth are going to be both hard to deal with. So it's going to be tough. It's going to be a tough game. And look, we just got to get in there, support the side, and hope they can go out there and dominate their opposition. That's what needs to happen. It needs to start in the engine room. And if it doesn't, they're going to be in trouble. So,
yep. Harshes thinks the Dolphins might underestimate the Dogs. I don't think that anybody will want to do it, but subconsciously sometimes it does happen.
Yep.
They might be over the moon beating the Storm. Yeah, look, and again, backing up after having to still beat the Storm, hopefully there's a bit of residual there that we can expose. I hope we've been working on securing the opposition's short line dropouts.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it sort of hurt us last week.
3 repeat sets. We got
one this
one
year,
back,
actually.
one back.
Yep. A few times.
Dolphins aren't ready, lads. It's time for a takeover. There you
go.
Let's
go. Let's hope so.
And Marshall King, yes, he's back against us. Yes, but let's hope he's still underdone. Let's hope. Let's hope if he gets out there. Just hope the boys.
Yeah.
Go for it, mate.
Yeah, I just hope the boys. It does take a while to come good, Marshall King.
Yeah. Hope the boys don't apply any more baby oil before running out. Yeah. Maybe they got the wrong spray going, guys. Blame the trainer for that one. The Journey Crawley on NRL3 he's not a good journo. Keeps giving it to us. The drop kick. Mick, you've got a few things to say. You wrote an article about that, didn't you?
Look, I wrote an article about Crawley after the Penrith game because he literally dropped on the expecting Penrith were going to win. He started to get in early, which is what he used to do. 5 minutes after we lost to the Warriors in 2023, that put us at 2 wins, 2 losses. He had it decided that Flanagan had to be dropped right then and there. And that was published ready to go. The Warriors ended up making the prelim that year. So it wasn't like they were a bad side and we led them for 69 minutes. Yeah, big history with Crawley. He hates the Bulldogs. There's no doubt about it. He talks. Look, when your brother's there and in the company, look, they are instructed to do what they do. If like using Galvin's name, for example, just is a money spinner. It makes money for advertisers, creates views. If my business is advertising with News Corp, I'm going to benefit. I'm going to get more clicks on my business if they use Galvin's name as opposed to talking about Harry Hayes or even Jamin Salmon. Now, the only reason that these guys are talking about Adam O'Brien, Bailey Hayward at the moment, they were talking about him, Anderson and Astor after the game especially, is because our fans are blaming these guys and blaming Serrato for picking these guys. That's why they're talking about it. It's not because they're hopeless. They, like Mick Ennis, as it was pointed out by Gas the other night, in his first 50 matches or something, 38 off the bench. And then when he started playing hooker full time, he was coming off the bench as well. Like he's playing a whole mixture of starting and playing in two hooker systems at different clubs where they're using a two hooker solution, which is exactly what it should have been this year with Marnie starting, Bailey coming off the bench, maybe swap it around a few times, which is what they started to do towards the end. That was what they would have hoped to have got, and potentially for Marnie to get a big deal or to have earned himself another extension within, being a Bulldog, maybe taking a bit less. But the money was on offer. It was ready to be taken. They're talking about these things. But they didn't, like, who was Adam O'Brien's assistant coach last year? Now, unless you're listening to Knight's podcasts, you wouldn't have heard it on NRL 360 anywhere. The Wooden Spooners team, who was his attacking coach? Who was the attack? Their attack wasn't that good at Newcastle. So do we just say that he controlled all their attack there when he had an attacking coach? So if you don't like our attack, it still has to sit with Serrato and the club and Adam O'Brien as part of the team. Like but they're only talking about it because our fans then hear them say it and go, see, all the experts agree with us. Because they want to see a club go to an emergency. They want to see Phil Gould get kicked out of the club. Fox actually want that. They actually want that in it for our club. They do. Don't let them. It makes complete business sense with their operation, for the media operation, for that to happen. They want that. He's with a rival network. He is part of the reason that Rupert doesn't own full control of the game. He's one of the main reasons and protagonists about that. So, this shit. You need to just understand they're doing what they're paid to do. Right? Some of them have their own little agendas, and you see that exposed because Braith's not going to be nasty to Parramatta this year while Jonah's there. But after next year, he'll say, well, Jason Riles has had nearly enough time. It'll be like, okay, Jason Riles has had 3 years to get this roster together now. I think he's done a pretty good job, but I suppose now we decide whether it's working there or not. If are they going in the right direction? He'll start framing it like that. Melbourne, is he talking about whether Munster should be picked? And then what was it last night? Now, it was so staged from Bulldog Richie so that he could mention that Conti. And look, we've been watching New South Wales Cup. We've been talking about Conti.
Yep.
Now, if he can make the tackles or be able to fit into the system enough to go out there and do his job, Mitch Woods isn't playing. And Conti's a halfback and playing like a halfback.
It's his chance.
If he gets his opportunity, we'll be all for it.
Mm.
And Asta has him here because we've got a good halves academy. And that's the other thing that we also have to say is that they did not rate our spine at the start of last year. Even when they won games, they said they talked about the lack of opposition in the games we played. It only became
not a team that can win the grand final, they kept saying.
Yep. It only became a side that was possible to win after Galvin joined the club. And then Brave has said it 1,000 times. Look, they've done this. They're the ones who said that we brought Galvin into our club to win the premiership so we could attack last year. Now, that's just not what the truth is we brought Galvin to our club because the opportunity presented itself to get a really good young player that we could develop into a future playmaker that's got a higher ceiling than Toby Sexton would have had. Toby could have got a 12-month extension last year, but his manager messed that up.
Mm-hmm.
And there was parts of his game that were regressing. Now, whether that's the coach's fault that it was regressing or whatever, I suppose everyone shares a bit of responsibility. The final point that I'll make on this is that all these things are so convenient. They talk about every decision that's made by Gould now, or every decision that's made is one that Gould did on his own or forced. You know, it's the same narrative. And the only thing that Canterbury fans have ever understood is winning. Very spoilt for it early on, which is what makes it hard when you've got something at your disposal that you can also almost take for granted. We're going to win a comp soon, and it's taken away from you the way it was. It's really hard to deal with. It's been hard for Gas and I to deal with it, right? But we understand, we've looked deep into it, and we know that the game's changed. The way that you manage your juniors is important. Now, I had someone again say today that the stats don't lie, blah, blah. No, we're not saying the stats lie or don't lie. We're saying that it doesn't matter what our expectations are as fans. That's not going to fix anything. Okay? If you're going to, before Gus got here, we were paying $4.5 million, it was $3.5 million, close to that, of salaries for players to play at other clubs. And then just before, when we were about to get that war chest in 2000, supposed to be ready at the end of 2021, they'd already cut into that we had to spend $1.2 million over 3 years on Dylan Watene-Zelezniak, letting him go to the Warriors. Then we had Kotrick come, and we're trying to get some money out of that because he didn't want to be at the club as Gus is like he's a winger. He's been paid centre money. We'll do better getting another kid. Meany decided he wanted to go. We offered him a contract. He got the same. They matched his contract offer at Canterbury to the Storm. And he's like, well, and it was great for him because Pappenhausen hardly played while he was there. And he got to play and develop under Bellamy in that system, right? All these things happened where they brought a couple of people to the club that they realised weren't what they cracked up to be, and they had to get a whole heap of people out. Now, that's on top of the fact that our juniors were underinvested for ages. So it's not the case of rebuilding the Bulldogs would be where we were and what happened to where we want to be. One of the hardest things to do. As fans, we can complain about it all we want and say we want success now. All these cliches. Oh yeah, it's Serrato's team. He's had 3 years to build that team. Like I've heard that said ever since rugby league went, 24 hours a day news cycle. Oh yeah, this is his team. This is Ricky Stewart's side. This is Paul McGregor's team. This is his team. Whenever they're losing, they say the same thing. They pick this team. It's not working. They've got to take responsibility for it. It was never about that at Penrith or at the Bulldogs. And if you look at the synchronicity between the sides, at Penrith, you get some money to invest back to get the sponsors happy, to get everybody invested in the place. They fix the junior pathways, and while they do it, they bring in all these journeymen, all these players. They're lucky to get a grand final winning halfback to their team. They made a prelim, we didn't, right? And then it was underachieving for the next 2 or 3 years until those kids were ready in it to become the nucleus of that side. And it was Gus secured Wayne Bennett to go to the club, the Panthers. Well, if the Panthers did that, they might have still lost Nathan Cleary to the Tigers. They made a call, mutual separation. They all say Ivan said he wouldn't go back if Gus was there, maybe. I think it might have been a bit both ways, but the rest is history, and they've become one of the greatest clubs. Serrauto had his hands all over that nucleus of the best team ever, best junior team ever to produce internationals and rep players, from what I can tell. All his DNA over that, Gus's DNA all over it. The rules changed this year. It hasn't suited the side that we've assembled, obviously, but they're still sticking to their guns. They brought Sewer into the side when he was ready, when the opportunity was there. They brought AJ Jones to debut, and he performed like an NRL first grader, as did Sewer. And the next person who steps into that side will do exactly the same. Just like Harry Hayes, just like Bailey Hayward. There's been no one they've brought in. Sam Hughes is one they debuted as well. You might not, think he's the greatest front rower, but he's good enough for the NRL. So these narratives were always going to be there. If we lose games, they're going to keep repeating every decision as if it was the worst decision in the world. They won't look at any of the good that's been done, where we come from. They've got no interest in that, and neither do our fans who want to win. Who just want to win. They want to feel good on the weekend. And they don't care how. And right now they see the reasons that we're losing are because of this player, that player, this coach doing that, this coach we brought in, Gus Gould, and they're not going to stop until we get results. So for the fans out there, and I know there's plenty of you who I get plenty of messages from Canterbury Bankstown fans who used to act the way that a lot of these people act and don't do that anymore because they see the bigger picture, and it gets proven through time. And Serrauto's had bad starts to most of his seasons except last year, losing starts to the year and stuff. So he's got some good stuff happening, that guy. He never said he was the Messiah. The media did. And that's what they want to do. They want to build him up so they can tear him down. And that's how it's always going to be, especially with the Bulldogs. And if we were a privately owned company or a privately owned club, it would be a lot different, unfortunately. But look, that's blasphemy to say that to some people, but that's just a reality. No one's sitting there talking to Russell Crowe or talking about the South Sydney assistant coach for when shit goes wrong. It's not happening at any of the other clubs. Only us. Maybe wherever Trent Barrett goes, he'll get scrutinised because of the Bulldogs fans will be all over social media driving that as well. So,
Bulldog Mike agrees about with Showy, but there's a good comment here by Bulldog Nick.
G'day, Nick. How you going, mate?
He's trying his guts out and a player of the future 100%, but I wish he would straighten up a touch. His first movement towards the sideline. I think it's a valid point. I think it's something that he's definitely working on in his game because obviously something that he's always done. He's just got the ball and he's run across, when he has done that little bit of a straightening up, he can be able to create something because he will, obviously for those who are unsure of what significance it makes, when you do straighten up, sometimes it's who you're pulling in towards you from the defensive line to then create some space outside you. When you're an easy target going across sideways, everybody can just keep sliding with you. But you need to isolate someone to create that space. So by straightening up, you allow that space to create around you. So, and that's something that a lot of the good halfbacks do, where they sort of can straighten up. And Cooper Cronk talks about it a lot as well. And he was very good at doing it himself as well. But a lot of the good halfbacks will do that and create that space. So, because then you've got the option to go yourself if they don't come with you, if they want to stay on the outside or whatever. You create options. But so that's why sometimes you hear the commentators talk a lot about that straightening up, just going to the line and then have the ability to still play outside once you've done that.
I'll just ask everyone a question. I probably should have done this as a poll, but as a young rugby league player, let's say a 5'8", going back to our last premiership era, there was a young guy who had all the attributes of someone we loved and liked, especially me. Competitive, fast, backs himself, throws himself at the defence, reads the play really well, kicks all right, really confident kid, and went on to become probably a future immortal. And I see a lot of that in Galvin. I don't know if Galvin gets to that level, right?
2004 premiership winner.
Yep. The attributes of Lachlan Galvin, his competitiveness, the amount of the fact he just wants to have the ball and all that sort of stuff. He was lucky though. The guy coming through, Jonathan Thurston, had Braithen Astor in the team, had Shifty Sherwin in the team, right? He had one of the most skillful, hard-running forward packs, high-energy forward packs that I've seen in the 2004 Bulldogs, and even before that, right? He then goes to the Cowboys, and who's his partner up there? Travis Norton, a guy come from the Crushers who played for the Bulldogs in a successful period, where we nearly won a comp. Now, a very cool, calm player and very good yin and yang for what Thurston was doing. And look, they lost that to the Benji's Tigers, a team that come out of nowhere, essentially, and played a style of football that everybody sort of loved. Just went through the hand so quickly from one side to the other. Going to watch the Bulldogs versus Broncos in 2024, it was almost like watching Wests in 2005. And that's no insult to West being a grand final team or whatever, but there was just a lot of excitement. I just love the way we got the ball from one side to the other really quickly. And would like to see something like that happen on Thursday. But the point I'm making is that Jonathan Thurston, it took him till 2015 to win a comp. He was part of one of the greatest Origin teams ever assembled. And the thing they said about this guy was his involvement and his competitiveness to win. And I've seen that in Galvin, mate, as a 20-year-old. Now, if Lachlan Galvin went to Penrith or fucking one of these sides, right, they'd be winning. He probably wouldn't have as many touches. He'd probably tone it down a bit, potentially. He wouldn't feel he'd have to do as much. He'd still want to. I'm not saying he's going to be Jonathan Thurston. I'm not putting any more pressure on. I'm not trying to get attack from people. But what I'm saying, he's got attributes which remind me of that player with his competitiveness and stuff. You know what I mean? I think it's a fair comparison to make, and I'd love to see it pan out that way. But talking about this week, I think Burton probably needs to have a few more touches. But the energy is where it's at. If Burton's doing more of one thing, he's going to do less of something else. It's just the way it is. It's the same with our hooker at the moment. The one with the fitness, it seems, is Galvin. They're trying to teach him as many lessons as they can in a smallest period of time that they can. But I think it is actually we just need to simplify it a bit and get him back to that role-playing stuff, which is sort of where we were at for the last couple of years leading in. I just felt that people were just doing their roles, and then the next man up that was coming into those roles was able to do those roles effectively as well. I just feel that there's people trying to do too much. Like Thompson pushed his luck too far on the weekend, too eager. Tilly sometimes does that extra run when he's buggered and knocks the ball on at a bad time. Critter's probably wanting to do more and being impacted by his shoulder, so he's not doing the same palm off on the same side. You know what I mean? He's leading with a different shoulder to defend, which Sonny Bill did for his whole career, because apparently one of his shoulders was shot for his whole career. He was using his weaker shoulder and smashing people. I know I'm saying a lot, guys, but I'm just trying to I think some players are trying a bit too hard. And if we get back to just these guys doing their roles to the best that they can, I think they might get control a little bit longer of some matches, get a couple more tries on the board, put some scoreboard pressure on, and maybe some teams will compound into. Well, Penrith sort of ended up giving us the game because our pressure over 80 minutes enabled us to win, have the match won, start to lose it, and then win it again at the end and quite comprehensively. And if that's how we've got to get it done, that's how we've got to get it done. But it just has to be. I just think there's too many people probably just overdoing it in some roles, and it's actually costing us at different points. So there we go.
Okay. So, g'day, Lockie. Hi, guys. Players on the field have to find a way to win this week, no matter what. Wins are the only way to get people off their back.
Unfortunately,
Yes.
that's it. That's the reality of it, which sucks.
Yep.
Well, in a way.
Brian wants us to kick it to Cobbo because he's got suspect hands. Harry, we're still positive, mate. But you can continue your negativity across the road, mate, at the kennel, and we'll see you when you get back, buddy.
Is he at the kennel? Is he?
He's been there a long time, mate. Him and Brian going head to head about all things negative and all things positive.
Oh no! Elmo said that we can make the 8 now because James Graham said it.
Okay. At least it's better than the New South Wales Cup team that Joey chose on his site the other day. So that's all right. What makes Dogs fans so confident in Mitch Woods, and does that mean Garvin goes back to 6? It's still an unknown, Brenton. Until he's playing and dominating in Cup and getting his opportunity, no one knows. It's just, he's had some good success in the past. He's played Origin under 19s. He's done well, but till he gets his opportunity, we don't know. It's just one of those things. But what's going to suit everyone's narrative is to keep promoting someone who's an opportunity. Like Andrew Johns is raving about him. He doesn't even know he's not playing at the moment.
and that's half the fans saying shit too. But it's actually a good question, and the reason I say that is, and to give you a bit of an answer just about Mitch, why they love him so much. It's not just about his talent. It's about what players around him, even some of the adult players, the coaches, when they're talking to him, the things that he does, the way he learns, the way he takes things on, the way he takes feedback, how he implements things. And he also just has this way of lifting players around him. He always has done that through the juniors. There are juniors, though, that at the junior level are great at that and can get to a point, but then it just becomes, whether it's through expectation or just in the wrong team at the wrong time, and injury, which we're sort of he's suffering at the moment, it doesn't always turn out into a career. But for the Bulldogs, they've got a halves academy. They've got quite a few good young halves that are showing a lot of great signs. Bronson Rubin, Joey Tayalpa, Alex Conti, Damon Humphreys, Matty Barakat has all the attributes. Young CJ Uday, playing a bunch of different positions. You've got young Alamadine who come from Parramatta over to us. There's a whole bunch of kids that are here for the Halves Academy. So, just understand the media and stuff are only there to get clicks. And they're going to say things that you think you're seeing and you think that you believe. And some of the things are partially true. But the context is never there unless it suits their narrative. And that's the truth. It's not journalism anymore. It's just data harvesting.
There's your response, mate. No worries,
mate. No worries, brother.
Thank you. And just following up, I'm guessing on Crawley. He hates Gore with a passion, but let me tell you, if that guy has the balls to go one on with Gus about league, he would be put to shame and probably retire as a journalist.
I want to answer Sayed Jamal, who did a really long response on talking about how Gus didn't actually say nothing when they were just going on about the Bulldogs and talk about the Sydney Morning Herald and stuff like that. When Bracey sort of had when Gow was going at Bracey and Bracey sort of stood up to him, Gus said at the end, see, you've learnt your first lesson. You don't respond to media. And that's the thing. You can't. And that's the thing that he told the board when he comes. Like, if you're going to listen to the fans, we'll end up, it will not work. That's why you're in the shit you're in. Because people were held at knife and gunpoint by the demands of the fans who just want to win. And it's not the fans' fault because they don't know any better. Right? So I'm not blaming the fans of it, but it's just the way it is. We have to learn. The media are going to tell us what they're going to tell us about the scapegoat that we've already decided the scapegoat is. They're going to tell us that it's true every time. Who's Melbourne's assistant coach at the moment? Who's their attacking coach? Who's the attacking coach of the Cowboys? Who's the attacking coach of the Dragons? Who's the attacking coach of all these sides? Parramatta right now. Who's their attacking coach? Do you know? NRL 360 aren't going to tell you who they are. But they're going to tell you about the Bulldogs.
Because the fans are talking about it. That's why. So it's easy.
And look,
jump on the back of it.
Some of the stuff we're doing does resemble some of the stuff Newcastle was doing when they were looking like they had poor attack. Like, I'm not going to deny that. There's elements that line up, but it's not all conclusive. So we just have to ride with it. I don't know.
Let's keep going, mate.
Let's go, bro.
Brenton was saying something about Blake Green. He's at the Cowboys now.
Okay, yep.
Zreg. G'day, Ryan. Evening.
G'day, Ryan.
Need more fans like James Graham. The man bleeds blue and white. We need him in the sheds before every game to rev the lads up. Yes. Maybe Tommy Rodonica style, maybe with a few slaps, maybe. Yes.
Yes.
Blake Green was held back by Adam O'Brien as well. Like you said, win or even a strong performance to fix the clunkiness in attack will turn the season around, especially being played at Suncorp. We're due a win at Suncorp, guys. We're due a win at Suncorp. We haven't won there since Titans last year, off memory, Magic Round.
Yep.
So we're due a win. And it's going to be good for us leading into Magic Round to get that under our belt, guys. So looking forward to it. No coach ever gets player of the exact team they want. That's right, Brian. Why can't we put Burton to lock, Galvin to 6, and SOS to 7?
Look, I think Burton could come off the bench and play lock. I wouldn't start him there if you paid me, unless he had a preseason there and actually started working into it, and that become his. I think he could become a lock, but I just don't know about it. I just don't know. I
think Galvin's more of a lock than Birdo.
Yeah, that's what I believe.
In the future,
that's what I believe.
Big ups to AJ Jones, who I thought was very solid last Friday. Hopefully, many more to come. Yes.
Time to the minute. And why isn't the club congratulated about the performance of a guy who comes in on his debut and plays like he's supposed to be there? Like, that's
yep.
They're the good stories. And that's another thing. Like, people are posting congratulatory stories about AJ Jones on the net, and that's all podcasts and that's all stuff. And what do people do? They just go and sabotage it, talking about other things. It's like, let's let the guy enjoy his debut, for God's sake. His parents have travelled from New Zealand. They were so happy to see their son there. And what did they get? They got booing from the kennel. Led by one of the biggest and probably hardest working Bulldogs fans on social media, was leading the chorus. Unbelievable.
Yeah. Even the ones closest to him who've done a lot through the years have turned around and said that's the first time we've seen him do that. So every man has a breaking point.
Because he had hope, and the hope's been destroyed.
Joe Millennium. Yes, we mentioned earlier that he did re-aggravate still in training, just still pushing a bit too hard, trying to get himself back out there. Every time he felt like he was on the mend and ready, he would twinge it again. So they've had to slow him down. Very keen, wants to get out there, as you all would. Old fella
Oh,
Dave,
no.
welcome. He didn't see the ding that told him the podcast was on. That's
And
all right,
thank you
mate.
for your all your help, David, with the walking for autism and stuff. I think
The good news is,
pretty
Dave,
sure
you
seen
haven't
it.
missed nothing, mate, because you can always watch it later. That's the good news.
Great thing about the podcast, that's it, guess. That's it. Good shout. Who's up next?
Joby's in town. G'day, mate.
G'day, Joby.
The man from the nice part of the world. James, Bulldogs fans are a lot like Dragons fans. Once they sink their teeth in, it's hard to let go. Oh, the Dragons
don't
and
mind
Dogs,
this
they both
next-
got big teeth, don't they? Like the Dragons got I don't know, if you look at the animal, I'm saying, like there's a lot of teeth there.
Let's go to the next one, Kangaroo. Welcome back to you, guy. Mason Barber, yeah. Look, he's had some injuries, so he could be one that fits the bill. He's a fullback. He's one of those long striders. So a lot of them do struggle at fullback. They actually do really well when they play wing center, that sort of stuff. And they don't break down as much. And he's another one we'll probably see play NRL for the Cowboys this year at some point, you would imagine. With Tuolangi often having issues and, just I reckon he won't be too far away. I think he was on the extended bench against us for earlier in the week last week. Yeah, very good player. Very good player.
Hope Satilli starts on the left and Preston goes back to the right. There's been a lot of talk about that this week as well.
Well, look, it doesn't matter if he puts, this is what's going to happen, guys, just so you know. If he puts Preston back to the right and Satilli starts on the left and we lose again, he's going to get criticised for chopping and changing. Right? So if Satilli's comfortable on the left, I think the work and effort that he's been putting in the middle, he should be able to go pretty good on that left edge.
What did Presto say in his press conference yesterday?
I love the press conferences of Tuala and Preston.
Yes. He's happy to play either side because that's where he's played. He played on the left coming through the ranks, guys. He plays both sides. From Preston's perspective, he doesn't mind. What people are trying to look for now is an excuse to say he didn't have Galvin there to feed him the ball when apparently, Galvin was giving him too much ball before, but then he didn't have him there to feed him the ball. So we lost a big dynamic that we had working for us.
When you lose, it doesn't matter.
Exactly.
And so we'll fix this, we fix that, we fix this, we fix that. Not going to matter. They have to fix it.
Here's a good comment here. Alex Conti has been outperforming Sean O'Sullivan in New South Wales Cup.
Yeah.
Based on time played, he's had more better moments in games, and he's had a lot more opportunity, obviously, to play more. Sullivan's been injured and suspended at times, but Conti hasn't let himself down when he's been out there, guys. He's put his best foot forward, and he's given himself opportunities, not just for the Bulldogs now, for anyone looking at him moving forward. He's giving himself opportunities, put a few headlights towards him to help himself out. So,
and he always was going to. Yeah, we didn't really hear about him at the Tigers until he joined the Bulldogs. Then he became news, and then he was Braith and Astor's.
So you're saying Braith took someone from the Tigers to the Bulldogs, and that's okay?
Yeah.
Oh,
but look, it wasn't mid-season, and
it's okay.
And he wasn't rated. Well, he was the Harold Matts captain of the Balmain side, and Galvin was Harold Matts of the West side. So they actually competed against each other in that year, but they were both playing for the West Tigers, both feeding into the West Tigers.
Yeah.
And West won the comp that year. And it's, this is what I said to an Astor and his thing is that is the disruption in the NRL group, or is it the juniors that are more disrupted because they see a young kid sort of their age going straight into the top 30 and blocking their pathway? that's where the disruption is, and that's where the Bulldogs have to do their greatest work, to work with those kids that get disillusioned. And when player managers say, I honestly believe Vanasta's like, it's a good thing that he's come to the Bulldogs, even though I wrote my article on that. It was just to say, well, we can say any narrative we want. You're saying these things, we can say this stuff too. It lines up. It makes sense. Doesn't mean it's true. And I actually believe he wanted Conti to have to work hard to get a spot in the NRL, because that's going to make him a better player. He doesn't want him just to get it easy.
Bulldog Mike has some suggestions for another podcast.
You can only count to 4.
I think confident in Mitch Woods is the wrong word. I'm optimistic and hopeful with him, though.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. He should not be talked about in the same. You've got Matt Burton there, and you've got Lachlan Galvin there. Woods isn't there. So why are we talking about him till he's there?
Yeah. That's right.
That's it. That's it, bro.
Henny Benny, big respect to Bracey.
Yeah, it was nice. Good to see you, Henny.
Henny, what's good, Gas Dogfather doing? Yeah, all
Hope
good,
you're
buddy.
going good, brother. Someone was from PNG said hello. Did you say hello to them earlier?
Yeah, said hello to PNG and to Japan, I think, off memory.
Oh, okay, cool.
Being that Woods is a 7, why have
Woods is a
Galvin
6'2", man. He's a half. That's what I mean. Like, we just go, oh, he's a 7, he's a 6, he's a 3.
Woods can also fill in for fullback guys too.
Plays fullback in rugby union. I know it's different. And he'd play AFL. So
That's right.
if you play in AFL, you can climb, you can jump, you can catch, you can kick. And you've usually got pretty good at the position he played in AFL. He had great acceleration and he was always on the ball. Get down low, scrimmage for anything. And all of those skill sets just attractive for everybody. I reckon he's could definitely be a really good fullback if he can get himself right.
Yep.
But he'd be a game managing halfback as well, and a really good 5'8".
Okay, we got Bulldog Mike 75. Loved AJ's run from the kickoff. He came off the back fence. Yes, he did, mate.
I like how they actually highlighted that on the little the thing they did for his debut. I shared it around.
They showed him right behind the post there. Yeah, we're behind.
Off the back fence, literally. So good shout out, Mike.
Might have got a shove from one of the supporters. That's how far back he was. If they were that close. Harsha, thanks guys. Appreciate insights. No worries. Thanks for your support too, everyone. Kangaroo Killer, welcome back. Keen to see Ciro blood some more juniors. We have more than capable ones waiting for an opportunity. All in good time, as you've seen with the ones who've come in recently. When their time is ready, the players will get their opportunity and they'll hit the ground running. And that's what they want to do. There's no point in thrusting someone in and getting smashed by 66 points or 62 points for no reason. You need to be ready. So that's what we're doing.
Just one sentence for that. Go back to it. See the wording there, Kangaroo. Keen to see in blood some more juniors. We have more than capable ones waiting for. They're not waiting. No one's waiting. And it's important I say that, going with what Gash just said. AJ wasn't waiting 3 weeks ago for an opportunity. He was getting prepared for his opportunity. They know the players there that are going to come in and play a role and be able to do their job in a next man up sort of way. They just have to get them ready so that they can perform the way they have when they come in. And this is something that a lot of people just, through not even watching it. As I said, you got Joey there on the Facebook group that I help him with sometimes and doing what he does when he loses a bit of hope in the season, picking a team of New South Wales Cup players that he'd like to see. Basically, the NRL squad with half of it being players that are in the current Cup side. And then when he was asked, obviously, someone's like, or about 100 people actually said, obviously you haven't been watching Cup, Joey. And he's like, no, I haven't. I've just been looking at the stats. And he's got about 1,000 likes on his thing. Now that means that thousands of people saw his thing. Most people agree with it, but they're not watching the Cup. So they don't know if these guys are even ready. In their mind, you just throw someone in there and see how he goes. Well, that means you've given up on the season, doesn't it? You've just lost complete faith. And that's personal, that's subjective, but yeah. Come on. When people start, it's really cool. Watch the juniors play in all the grades. It's good fun if you can do it, if you can afford it. It's better than fucking watching the news or debating what's happening on the other side of the world. Go watch our juniors if you can. It's bloody awesome. Just seeing individuals coming through and whatever,
Joey Millennium, do you think Logan Spinks is a good chance of coming in?
It was dropped down to number 23 this week. So they probably not, unless there's an injury. But who knows? Like Curran might get injured and they bring Spinks in, and then they might say, actually, we'll bring Satilli back to the bench. Spinks can start maybe. They could do any of those things. Yeah, I thought he might have been a better chance this week, but having him named at 23, there's usually a bit of a strategy with the Bulldogs on that sort of stuff. They don't. And AJ being named at 14 sort of, I don't know if that's ducks and drakes or a reward for the fact like what you did last week was so proud of you. You're actually next man up, literally. Because I think Kurt Mann's the first bloke they pick on that bench. But maybe the 14 is the utility player. I don't know. Like it seems to be in a lot of teams. But look, I don't think maybe AJ's just going to come on and play a ball playing lock. Like he can do it to the level of Salmon and Mann. Don't think he's there yet, but I wouldn't mind seeing a bigger body doing it. And maybe you can do it for 30 minutes, 35 minutes. If that's the strategy, that's what they're going to do. I'm quite happy with it. If it's going to pay off over the next few weeks, but and for his development, but I'm not sure if that's, or if it might be just like you played so well, you've jumped ahead of some blokes because there's a couple of blokes in the side that have done some stuff we're not happy with, like getting suspended and stuff like that. My favourite player up there.
Dirty Harry.
Dirty Harry. Love Harry.
We need his
and
energy, mate.
Harry, if you're still watching, or is he watching something else?
Harry, mate, he came and said hello and then disappeared back to the podcast to have a go with Brian Dibb. So Brian can tell everyone over there that we've only got 6 people watching when we've got over 60 at the moment. So it's all right. It's whatever suits their narrative. It's good for them. Presto has earned himself a Blues jersey this year, Brenton saying. Well, it's if you noticed, I think they had a stat out. There's about 15 Origin potentials that are injured at the moment. So if you're one of them who's still playing and you miss out, you got to definitely feel unlucky. So I know we've got a big pool to select from, but personally, I hope Critter doesn't get picked, guys. Personally, but
well, he's injured.
That's the thing. I just don't feel like at that level you can get found out. So,
well, look, if New South Wales pick Critter and we lose, Daly will get absolutely slaughtered.
Yep. Although one of the ones he was going to pick is now resting for 2 weeks for using this elbow for no reason. And costing himself a chance to win. Yeah. So there you go. But at least he won't be injured in the next 2 weeks. That's his positive sign from him. Bopper, hey, just tuned in. Have you touched base on who you think plays the lock role once Salmon comes off? SOS or Haywood? or
Look, I think
X?
I think Sauce will play it just quietly. If he's not injured. I think Hayward will definitely stay as the hooker. And if he needs a break, they can move O'Sullivan into hooker for a bit as well, and play that extra forward on the bench. It's going to be very interesting actually to see how it does pan out. It does put us in a little bit of a hole, but the one thing I'll say is Salmon has been playing more minutes and he's been having to do multiple roles in the last few games, which is stifling him a little bit in his effectiveness. But typically he got the blame for missing the tackle on Chester when there was three of them that couldn't move their legs. And the blokes just ran past them all. So, and the only one chasing at the end was Josh Curran, to be honest, with any sort of, vigor. So
Nicholas Kane, sorry I'm late to the show. Are we expecting many changes this week?
Yeah, we've said of quite a bit, Nicholas, but it's great to see you, mate, and thank you for being a member. We've got quite a few of you now, up near the 50 mark, which is amazing. And what I will say is that there is a lot of changes because Mann is out. We've lost. Who else is out again? Forgotten. Carraz, King,
Kickow,
Kickow.
Turpin, Man.
Turpin's out. That's the other one. Sorry. So Satili Tupanua, apparently he's going to pay edge. Look, I don't know which side, but if we win the game, it'll be the right choice. If we lose the game, which the choices that are made will be the narrative will be that they've done the wrong thing. So let's just hope they can get out there and be confident in what they do. And, look, I was really liking Anari Tuala playing on that right centre. I think he was playing well there and playing on the wing.
Hitting some good lines. He was always popping his nose out the other side.
He's poking through and he was setting us up off the next play all the time.
Fast play the balls, yeah.
Whereas the wing thing is, while he's a 96 kilogram winger, he's an extra forward out there, and he's probably the fastest guy in the back line. Yeah. So a lot of people talk about Cherry being on the wing. I still haven't seen Cherry stride out properly.
He keeps cutting back in. He doesn't want to go anywhere near the sidelines or angle that way. If he's not tapping the ball onto the winger, he's basically always angling back infield like that, left to left, off the left, off the left. I'm not sure with what's going on with that. I spoke about that before the season started and early on after Vegas and everything, and I was saying he needs to get that confidence to open up, to just show that speed and run and stuff, but he's running too many zigzag lines.
I think when he does run there and draws and passes, like it sometimes catches them by surprise too. So
yeah,
there's an element of that there as well.
Yeah,
but it's not enough.
No.
Like he basically had the reputation of sort of just not passing the ball, and then against Melbourne he did it twice to the Fox, and we should have won that game in 2024.
Yep,
which I've talked about 100 times. But yeah, and then when you see him link up with Carraz the other day for the first try on the edge.
Yep.
I think he can do that with Sewell. I want to see it. I want to see it happen.
Sewell's got the speed as well to be there and ready for anticipating for that pass.
Especially early in a game, before he's had to do all the work. He's got that extra energy and speed to do stuff. It's the same with Jethro. But Jethro, last week, beautiful pass from Dykes, and then Dykes gets probably a poor ball, or he's under a lot of pressure and manages to step twice to score the winger. But
yep. Brian, the narrative with some of our fans, the coach is too stubborn, won't admit he's wrong, coach them changes something, then gets accused of confusing the players and tinkering with the team.
Yeah, that's what we're saying. Damned if you do,
Mm.
damned if you don't when you're losing. And the
Yep.
other suggestion was you got to win to change it. It's the only thing. Well, that was Lockie, which is a really realistic comment for a young guy. So, yeah, it's just the way it is at the moment.
And the other thing is, everyone complains about Gus always being on X or Twitter, and he's commenting all the time. And now that he's stopped commenting about everything, it's like, oh, they're in hiding.
He's gone
you know?
hiding. He's hiding.
Yeah, under siege, and all these other things. You know what I mean?
And he's hiding.
So,
He's
yeah,
gone missing.
they can't win with him. When he gives them too much, he's out there, and when he's not giving him anything, he's gone missing. So,
And what about the thing? Four players missed the plane.
yeah, they were at the airport. It's not like they missed the actual trip. You know what I mean? They actually arrived before the other players did as well, just quietly.
And one player was vomiting or something, wasn't it? And they just hung around
Montoya
with him until he
apparently
was ready to go. Who's giving us money, mate?
Timmy's finished his Bible studies. G'day, Timmy.
I thought you were at the kennel, Timmy.
Timmy has not been at the kennel. He's not
only
like that.
joking, bro.
Timmy's loyal to all things Bulldogs.
Amir, I think, Jones has overtaken Lipoi. So, and look, Lipoi, what you can see is one of the nicest humans. He's got a great motor. He's always trying, always playing, can make meters, can make tackles, can score tries. But the one thing that I've noticed, and quite a few people that I've spoken to, we agree about, he just doesn't seem to. It's probably the same thing with Birdo, when it's like he doesn't care enough because he doesn't look like he's wincing or aggressive or angry ever. And I think Bulldogs fans really warm to people that sort of grit their teeth and look like they want to kill someone. All NRL fans do, I'm sure of it. So AJ's got a bit more of that in him. That's not the reason, though. But I think just through that, he just on the eye test, he just feels like he's breaking that first contact. He's sort of picking it out a bit more. He's just a bit more rugged and a bit more aggressive, but he's got all those other attributes as well. He's stepping off both feet, running good lines through the middle, getting into good positions, getting away pretty quick, play the ball, like all the stuff that you want to see.
Before you finish, just want to respond to Harry. Harry, wherever you're getting your information, and probably Brian Dibb, mate, is probably giving you that information. I wouldn't be believing that, buddy. I wouldn't be believing that, mate. So this channel goes to multiple places, and on our screens, where me and Michael see, we see the totals. And if you're looking at 6 people, mate, then that's fine. I can assure you there's more than 6 people making comments just to start with. So if you want to have those comments and play those games, that's okay, Harry. But I thought you were bigger than that, mate. Obviously, I was wrong. I do apologize. I was wrong, mate. I thought you were bigger than that. But if you want to play Brian Dibb games, then go for it, buddy. No problem.
That's
Sorry,
all right.
Mate. Continue, mate.
No, don't let him get to you, mate. Harry.
No, he's not getting to me, mate. Don't worry, mate.
And so is Brian Dibb, to be honest.
It's only Brian Dibb, mate. It's okay.
I'm a shit stirrer too, and Brian tried to tell me that I basically had to let him be on this podcast, and I'm like, well, no, I don't.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my ego at play, and I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
And we just got sick of talking about Brian. People got sick of Brian talking.
That's right.
And because we actually do read out everybody's shit, sorry, I shouldn't say shit, but this is how me and my daughter have been talking the last few days. It's terrible. What shit are you looking at, Dad? Stop that. But because we read everybody's stuff.
Yeah.
Just in what we do here, we it does take up a lot of your time. And when you get attention seekers, they do, So look, that doesn't worry me that Harry said that.
That's okay.
We control what we do in our 4 balls, Harry.
Yeah, it's I think sometimes Harry and Brian
Kennel 360 though. It's all
they probably spend more time talking about all things Bulldogs on the other podcast anyway. So and that can always be it's okay, mate. It's okay.
They do. The Kennel doesn't.
Yeah, That's what I'm saying. No, not the kennel, but the people on there chatting. Yeah,
'Cause,
and it's easy
yeah,
to
yeah,
see. The comments don't lie.
someone sent me a screenshot of Harry saying, speaking to people on there, saying, oh, aren't you on All Things Bulldogs? Like, mate, a lot of people are watching both right now
2 screens. Yes.
on 2 screens,
Yes.
and
That's right.
each to their own, mate. Each to their bloody own. But if you want to go to an echo chamber and have a circle jerk about attacking and saying, Gus Gould's a fucking wanker, the coach is shit, that's not going to help our club, nor is it going to help. Might help you, but it's not going to help our club ever.
Yep. Newcastle couldn't
make it harder.
score points last year. Haven't scored haven't scored points. So James is trying to reference the Adam O'Brien situation. Yeah, go.
I will make reference, and Joby was talking about me with this today, and there are some things in the attack, but O'Brien wasn't the attacking coach at Newcastle. Right? It's irrelevant. If we're blaming O'Brien at Canterbury, well, we shouldn't have been. It wasn't his fault. They got the wooden spoon last year at Newcastle. That was Blake Green's fault, apparently. So, and no one was talking about Blake Green, and now Blake Green's it's like Trent Barrett was at a club. Trent Barrett is a premiership winning assistant coach at 2 clubs as an attacking coach. At the Bulldogs, he had the worst attack out of any coach and the worst record Bulldogs coach of all time. I think, what did he win? 6 games out of 39 or something, or 40 or whatever. Like, no one had been worse, but he's won as an attacking coach at 2 different clubs. So we can make up whatever narrative we want, and we understand it, and you're actually right, James. Fans will say, we'll draw, 1 and 1 equals 2. We get it. But when you break down the actual stuff, it's not 1 on 1 equaling 2. There's so many different.
Trent Barrett,
so
5 from 30, 5 from 34.
And really, we shouldn't even be fucking talking about it, really. Like, it's only because it's the Dogs. It's only because it's the Dogs.
Oh, look, I'll tell you what, I've said it before, but what I loved was we had a couple of those plays against Canberra where we did those set plays where Critter come around the other side and gave it to Tracy, and then we had the one that we turned it back up the middle. Those were all plays that Adam O'Brien worked on. We wouldn't have got the 2 points in Canberra if we hadn't executed those plays. The only thing I can say is I'd like to see those things happen more often. Some of those plays that they were doing, I know that they've tried them. Doesn't mean that you put them away. Bring them back out again. Keep the opposition guessing. So that's what the confidence does, guys. It gets you to do these things in the game time, under pressure, and clear thinking. When you're under that pressure, sometimes it gets harder. You get a bit tense. And it happens in every single sport. It doesn't matter. It's just the way it is. Yeah, I mean, look at the anticipation the other day. The easiest catch, Marnie, inside. Just had to catch the ball, literally fall over and score the try. The anticipation, the knowing of everything. He was already celebrating to kick the ball to the crowd, and he dropped the ball. That's just the tenseness, guys. That's the way it is. Timmy, confident the guys can turn things around this week. How are we feeling? Percentage of confidence, Timmy's at 100%. That's good, Timmy. A lot of people are feeling good about it. Dolphins backline, apart from Schneider, are a worry if they get their game on against us. They said the same thing about Penrith, Timmy. Zachary, Shami, Enzo, do you guys think behind the 4 walls the boys have lost the brotherly bond that we had last year? I don't think so.
No, they love each other, mate, and I know that for a fact. But there's always issues. When we won the first 6 games, there was a player in our club that was in a prime position that some of the players were off big time. And he's no longer at our club.
Worse than what it is now.
Yeah, like there was shit going on. Look, they all rallied around each other and they still loved each other. They were just pissed off with the actions of a bloke. But look, if you go to thekennel.net, it's a website thing that's run by the Kennel Podcast. You'll hear a lot of rumors. You know, what was one of the best rumors that I heard in 2023 that Carraz was upset at playing wing and being a battering ram. He was angry that Avarillo was getting all the attention and all. This is all the sort of stuff and crap that they wrote on there about where people just write rumors and then they talk about these things as if they've happened. And the other thing too is there's actually media who infiltrate those places, and I know some of them who actually take some of those rumors that are made and actually use them
to make a story
as their own stories,
just
smart. So, you know, it's all banter. It's all rugby league. It's the community. You know, we like to build people up, tear them down. That's how it is. It's good. How many we got? There's only what 59 watching at the moment. Oh, it's dropped down to 47. Oh, it's a big drop. You better talk for a bit, Gas.
Abs is saying Stags will get picked. Pete Webber's in the house. He just fast-tracked and he's now live. Welcome, Pete.
Well done, Pete.
Michael threw a few of your comments out earlier, mentioned about your Dolphins comments, mate, and support. So hopefully that stuff happens, mate. Let's see. Sayed's back. James, he's fairly certain that last year Ponga was out for most of the year. Sharp did his ACL. They didn't have Dylan either.
Jackson Hastings.
Yep. 3 goals. And if you remember, the Knights, they kept changing their halves almost every week. They were alternate because they just kept either from form or whatever. They kept changing all the time. But they had a massive injury toll last year. And I'll keep reminding everyone, Adam O'Brien's coached team beat us 66-0 and made the finals in, was it 4 or 5 out of the 6 or 7 years that he was playing? So everybody looks at 1 year and one result and doesn't put the context around it because it just doesn't suit their narrative and their storyline.
That's it.
And that's just the way it is, guys. I reckon Burton in lock, Galvin 5'8", and the 7 from the reserve grade. Which 7 from reserve grade, mate? Which one? Give us a name. Brenton, say that's true, but those spine players plus more have been out this year as well and have managed to win games under Holbrook. Yep, but they've also got a lot of depth around that team as well at the moment, guys. So it just doesn't mean that their attack is any different. They've got a lot of better players out there, and the two Fletchers are both gun players. Atlas Astro, did you see the finish? Did you see the finish to New South Wales Cup last week? We were watching it there. We were early. We were live. Did you see?
We want to see it.
1 minute to go. Let's see what happens with 1 minute to go. Show us, Michael.
We'll keep talking while I get it ready.
Say it. Okay. And the Tryline website gives a lot of stats, such as where teams score points, where they can see the most, and a bunch of. Yep.
Can I say? Is that Syed who said that?
Yes.
Go and start. That's what I mean. I've studied all that stuff. So, Rugby League Writers is another great place to get some information. There's a couple of blokes on Instagram that are breaking things down well. There's a Bulldogs fan who does it. He's not worth his grain. But look, I think what you'll find is that I think it was 16 out of the 17 teams score more points on the left. And I think 15 out of 17 teams concede more points on the right. So the games become a little. I'll be interested. I actually haven't looked at it this year. And the Bulldogs had usually at different parts of the season have a really strong mix between middle and it sort of flows and whatever else. It changes around a bit. But most of the teams are pretty well much the same. It might have changed this year a little bit, but that's what I got from it. So I went through every team and I did it all myself and used spreadsheets, and it came out that so if your left edge attack scores most of the points and your right edge attack concedes the most points for nearly every team. But it's interesting to look at that stuff. It's digging deeper and understanding it a little bit more and seeing why they do sometimes go one way over the other a little bit more. But I've got to get this ready first.
Nicholas
G'day,
Kane.
Nicholas. Thank you, mate. You're in the draw, brother. You're in the draw.
In the draw. Yeah, mate. We're all fired up here, mate. We're ready to start, mate. We wish it was Thursday, mate.
That's it.
Come on, mate. Have a run, mate. I'll show you. I'll show you how to tackle, mate. Have a run. Have a run, Harry.
Is Harry on or what? Where is he?
Yeah, look, even Brenton's telling him, mate, there's 45 on here. Go spear, mate. Don't worry, mate. They're they got other things to worry about over there. Old fella Dave, I have a box of Beck's on order for Harry.
Harry's all right, mate. He is who he is. I love him.
Good boy, Mike.
He can hate me and I still love him. It's all good.
He's giving you a few kisses, mate.
If you know, you know. But I'll tell you what, I reckon you might have him covered as an actual commentator, Gas.
No, it's all right, mate.
Harry's just commentated some things that I loved that he made me love it more. That's just it. I just felt the moment so well. Where's this try by Dykes? Did I not put it up there?
Come on, mate. What are you doing?
Did I not?
Timmy's getting all the love. Okay.
Oh my God. I'm going to have to go to Facebook.
Brian saying, don't know about their actual stats, but AJ looks big and has more punch than Lipboy.
Yeah,
we need that right now. That's why I think he has over. And the other thing, Brian, that AJ has a bit of that sort of enforcer about him where he wants to hurt you when he tackles you. He doesn't just want to tackle. He wants to hurt. He wants to bend the line. He wants to do. So he's got that sort of mentality. And even if he plays shorter minutes and has that impact, that'll take a lot out of the opposition and help us in a big way, which will then allow some of our other players like, Thompson to play bigger minutes like they did last week. So, yep. British Bulldogs back. Thanks as always, Bulldog brothers. I think Sarah has shown some great leadership as well during the whole slump. People are confusing strength with weakness. Correct.
That's it.
I agree.
Do you want to watch this try from? Do you want the try from Cade Dykes at the end?
Let's have a look at it now, mate. Let's have a look at it now.
How's it looking? Let's get it. Make our big head smaller.
Two minutes.
Zion plays it. O'Sullivan in Underhill. Just a set up play.
Underhill took a couple more. Has to go back. That was a touch cheeky.
Yeah, I was calling that Daniel O'Donnell. It's actually
O'Sullivan.
Patrick Young.
And Still and Conti and Grossamy.
Louis Grossamy.
Reardon was looming out the back.
Both of you are commentating. Quiet.
Oh, are we? Sorry.
Now, Conti and Baker. And still Baker surges. He's right in front of the posts.
Sorry, didn't know.
The Dogs have a couple more chances. O'Sullivan out the back. Dykes past his man. Dykes back inside. Dykes. Dykes is going to score. Dykes has won it for the Dogs. Cade Dykes is back. And he has won Canterbury this game. Dykes is back. Dykes has won it. Back inside Dykes.
The pass is pretty poor, to be honest.
The Dogs have a couple more chances. O'Sullivan out the back. Dykes past his man. Dykes back inside. Dykes. Dykes is going to score. Dykes has won it.
He actually made the pass the way he wanted it because he wanted to catch the ball and get around the player in the one motion, which is exactly what he did. And then he did the reverse coming back. So the pass was actually a good pass, but he was actually on the move as the ball was coming towards him because he could see the player coming. That's a footballer for you, knowing what he wants to do and then executing it as the ball's coming towards him. So
The defender did nothing wrong either. Like
No, that was
he-
a good
he
play
come
from
in,
him.
Put the pressure on the bloke who was getting the ball, so he didn't
Yep.
hit his target.
That's it.
Now, does Cade Dykes is he able to do that right now in NRL? Maybe
I don't
not.
think so, not yet.
But
He's getting
more
a
games,
lot of fitness is still to become back. You can see there's a lot of moments in games where he's still getting himself together. He doesn't have the Lockie Galvin fitness at the moment, but it doesn't say that he's not going to get that back. If he does, he will be a dynamic player and a great option.
I've just worked out why Harry only saw 6. There's actually 2 types. There's 2 streams on YouTube for this right now, and one is in the mobile form, and the other one's in the horizontal. Yeah. And one gets more than the other, and they add together to give you 2. And we see the combined amount. And then there's extras that are happening now on Facebook. Instagram doesn't get counted. So there you go. So happy. And we normally get about 20 people on Twitter watching it at a time as well, which we're not doing at the moment. Patreon, we get a few people watching it, not too many. If we put more effort there, there'll be some people there. But our community is growing. It's organic. It's supportive, and it understands it doesn't have all the answers. It's great banner. It's good chat. And Gus and I know that we're not going to be social media superstars, and although Gus is a very good golfer and was a very good OzTag player. So
those long days gone.
But I'm all for people reaching their dreams. But 6 again with Finch and Kennel 360. If I stop watching NRL 360, I'll start watching those guys again, because it's pretty much the same format, saying the same things. And that's good, because the experts are right behind them. So we're the only ones who disagree with the experts. So we mustn't know anything. So there you go.
Popper, hate how fans and media keep mentioning one season O'Brien as Newcastle being bad when he was attacking coach at Melbourne with Slater, Smith, Cronk were playing, but no one mentions that. And also, I think, was it the Roosters as well, that he won premiership with as an assistant coach? He's had better success as an assistant, hasn't he?
Well, I've had people actually say the only reason he was good as an assistant was because he was at the Melbourne Storm and the Roosters. It's like, and that's what they said about Barrett because he was at Penrith. He was just riding their wave. Like, this is how pathetic people have come. Like, these guys are spending sometimes 16 hours a day at this place and working. And even when the guys go home, they're staying back, having discussions on what they've done wrong or what's actually evolving and when they expect it to happen. Having meetings with all the staff in the other areas, getting all the rundown from Taylor, and like Jason Taylor's still there. They talk about him like he's disappeared off the earth. Nick Potter's still there, involved in stuff like that. There's a lot going on, constantly going on, and it's big business, and they're big clubs. We're a big club, and it's a privilege to get the criticism as well. For these guys, it's part of it. They're privileged. But we're just culturally, we think it's all right to tear down someone's kid if their kid gets paid more than our kid does. That's how we look at things in our culture. And maybe sometimes that's true, but it's just funny. It's just hilarious. And I'll never stop talking about it. Another
stat that no one's mentioned as well is we are undefeated on Thursday night this year, guys. 2 from 2. 2 from 2. So undefeated on Thursday night this year. We do have a request there from Abs. He wants us. Can you put the highlights of the Penrith and Bulldogs game? Is that doable?
No.
Okay. Sorry, guys. We tried. Don't say we didn't ask.
I'll get Volandis will ban me, man. He'll ban me.
There you go. Unless it was the one that we recorded at the game, then we can't do it. Sorry, guys. But you
Even
can just
that's
go on
hard
to
to
the.
I
you
once
can-
I once recorded off the screen at Belmore, giving Josh Reynolds' highlights on the video screen at Belmore, and Facebook banned me, and so did YouTube
Gosh,
for copyright
wow.
off the Bulldogs screen at the game. Memories of Josh Reynolds.
There you go, mate.
Like it looked terrible too. Like it was all grainy and shit.
Abs, you can just go onto the NRL website, mate. Go to watch, go back to the game, and then you can watch the either the full game or the highlights as well, mate, for a couple of minutes there.
That's
Get your
it.
fix, get yourself sorted, and then you're okay, mate. It's like having a cigarette or whatever those for those people who smoke, I guess, which I don't. Timmy's saying the Dolphin backline, apart from Schneider, will need to be contained. Dolphins stronger, but don't forget, Timmy, they've only won 3 from 8 like we have, mate. So we just need to play with positivity, mate. If they were that good, they'd be world beaters. Let's just
Timmy,
take them on, head on, and see how we go.
Bradley Schneider was a pretty good 5'8" at Canberra coming through as a youngster. Penrith don't just bring someone in for nothing. I know, and he sort of played in that utility role last year. And
Didn't
he's
he
not
help the
obviously
24 premiership? Didn't he help 24 premiership when Luai went off?
not Schneider. No,
No, not Schneider. It was the other one.
that was our former player, Cogger, Jack Cogger.
That's right. Yeah.
He's back there at Penrith.
Yes.
So, but yeah, look, Schneider's that you can play that utility role, but they've obviously trusting him ahead of Nicarima. I think Nicarima will probably come into the side. If he wasn't in the side due to injury, he probably comes in. Maybe Schneider's there because they won last week against the Storm. He's getting backing. But yeah, look, he can do some good stuff on the field. He's had some moments. Struggled in the Panther side last year when they were sort of losing and stuff. So, but what I'm saying, I'm not writing him off either. Like you take your eyes off him, he'll pull your pants down. But I get what you mean. You look at all the other players in that side, and it's like, oh my God.
Yep. Funny how every expert has a different solution to our problems.
That's
it. They all come out of the woodwork. British Bulldog.
That's all Gould's fault. It's all Gould's fault.
Timmy, we said that it's a chance, mate. We spoke about this one earlier. It's a possibility. Never say never.
He's basically last man standing at the moment.
Yep. Galvin didn't like always to give it to Preston. He gave it to Tupanua.
Yeah,
He'll give it to whoever's running. He'll give it to whoever's running the hardest and in the right lines that he wants. So
we actually need him. That's what we need this week. Like in the Penrith game, we need the support play on both sides of the ruck and those forwards and Hayes and that to have that energy to really knock that wall down and then get them on the shift. Backtracking is what we've got to do. That seemed to work for us. The problem is matching that effort week in, week out through the middle has been tough for us to do.
We're getting your messages, Sayed, mate. All good, buddy.
We're getting him, brother.
Max King, I'm guessing.
Yeah. Abs, you're right. He's been playing, giving the ball to the middles. Maxi, Hayes, that worked really well against the Panthers.
Critter versus Farnworth. Yes. Also funny how every expert has a different. Even heard it. Set Turpin come in. Pretty sure Bailey would be better with 2 biceps intact.
That's it.
Yes, Timmy, it's a possibility. Michael did mention that one earlier too, buddy. But I'm sure you'll have a good time listening to this again from the start tomorrow, mate. When's Birdo? Well, I don't know if Birdo needs to move to the center because the way I see it, we still haven't won a game with Birdo at center, and he's still the best 5'8" we've got in the club. So no need to move him around, guys. He's good where he is. Just need to get ourselves going.
I think Bailey Hayward will be Hayward's kicking game isn't as reliable. That's probably the weakness. Like he can do it, but he's the length of it and all that sort of stuff. But he is a 7. coming through. Like that's what his position was. And he's obviously a much better defender now. And he did a good job playing 6 when Birdo was out injured last year. So doesn't run too often, but connects the team really well. Some people just don't understand that role because it doesn't pay off on the super coach. So,
What's the chances we'll see Critter at fullback this year? And also, I think Burton will be great 13. I truly believe Salmon is hurting us in attack.
That's your belief and your opinion, brother. I think Critter, with his shoulder injury at the moment, be a bit too hard, and he'd be a greater risk of injury if he has to go back to fullback at the moment. But that's just my opinion as well. I think, if Tracy gets injured or something like that, look, everyone's just gone off Tracy after a few losses. It's like, come on. They can get back to their best. But Tracy can actually, someone suggested earlier, I think that was Tony, suggested Tracy to the wing, and it's basically the same back line, but just all swapped around. But if we do that and lose, they will be calling for an EGM. Oh, they're chopping and changing. I'm out. I've had enough. I'm done. Look, I thought Salmon. Look, I knew this was people were going to say Salmon was stifling an attack when he got booed for when he didn't go out the shift out the back when we were chasing points and took the run and took the post hit up. I knew there was going to be even more Salmon hate after that run. It was seen on the TV, and it obviously would have been seen it would have looked worse at the ground because you could see
it was right in front of the kennel. That's
yeah. But I'm thinking like he doesn't pass that he just took his better judgment. He's like,
he didn't like what he saw when he looked up. Yeah,
he didn't like what he saw out there, and he's got he was a 5'8". We just weren't. We were slow in that whole process. But look, I think there is a fair discussion to be had that maybe we can try some different ways and a different order of things when we are running shapes and stuff.
Yeah,
I think it is become a little bit. Well, it's predictable for every team, but it's become overly predictable. Like Salmon the first, then the half. Like if the space isn't being created and they're already sitting on our edges, and the refs aren't going to stop it, they have to come up with a different strategy. I'd say that. Yeah.
You know what it feels like as well sometimes? It's when you're trying to run that play that has worked for you in the past, but in your mind you're thinking, you're doing it, you're executing it, but you think the opposition knows I'm about to do this as well, so you try to change it in the middle of what you're doing. I think the same thing happened a couple of weeks ago when Critter was there. He had Montoya on his outside, and he was just thinking, normally they'd run, they'd give it to the winger, and you give yourself that chance, but sometimes you're trying to second guess yourself and thinking, oh, well, they think I'm going to give it to him, so I won't. But if you just executed the plays you're supposed to do, you see it every week. When they run those shifts across, the wingers go in all the time. The Rabbitohs do it well. There's a lot of teams that do it very well. They get the numbers. Everyone's scoring points in record tries, record numbers. I think sometimes we're just overthinking it a little bit and thinking, oh, they know what we're going to do. Let's just do a variation to it. When if you just did the actual play, it's still hard to defend anyway. Just do it anyway. Well, that's what it feels like sometimes.
Let's talk about Tupanua on an edge and what he can bring for us, because I think one of the key elements is he is a good line runner and he does run aggressively. How many runs is he going to have though on an edge? Even if it's going to depend on what we're doing. It could be anywhere from 6 to 13. I think some early shifts out there to get him cranking and get us in a different part of the field potentially to make us a little bit less predictable in a way. But also on the other side of things, to have him used strategically in order to pull players out of the line to give us overlaps because we need them. And that's when we can see that, like the likes of Connor Tracy can link up with Critter on that right edge, where we've had success with that. It hasn't seemed to have been working. And I think there needs to be a bit more earlier ball from both our halves again. There was a lot of early ball from Burton against the Panthers, where Cherry got the ball. So they're playing deep. But if you're playing deep, but you're not getting early ball, you sort of the defense is already on you before you get there, and it's sort of staggered in a way the way we are, where it's even harder. It's hard to kick behind or do anything. And one asks, well, why are we doing that? Well, there's obviously a reason, and hopefully that reason plays out over time. And this is what I've said. There's been things I've criticised, like the use of the bench at different times, the way we've persisted with things that didn't appear to be paying off in a huge way. And then you see later on when we start running over teams, even in 2024, where we started winning those games, going down to the death, winning them by a point, where like the Sharks were just running, it felt like running 60 meters a set, but couldn't break our line. And we outlasted them and we got the win. And we hadn't beaten them in quite a while. So things that I was like, these things aren't paying off now. They did sort of pay off later. And I'm obviously hoping that that's what's happening at the moment. Because like, sometimes I look at it and go, I don't know where we're going to score here. I don't know how that's happening right now, the way they're looking at things and where the opposition are and how it's being reffed. And we need some luck. We need some footy god stuff. And if you keep at it and you keep doing it, eventually you will get it. But hopefully your season's not gone before that happens.
Yep. Pete, getting back to the lock question, man is certainly a big out on top of the others. I think Curran might be used over SOS. He might come in to give Bailey a rest at some stage.
That could happen.
Depends on how the game's going, Pete. But yeah, all options that they'll be looking at.
But as a ball playing lock, maybe we don't have that. Let's get out there and run, guys. Dent them, get some players caught up in the line and strip them for numbers somehow. Get the fullback, circle them from one side to the other, tie their fullback out. Tie a hammer out. He's still going to run faster than our guys.
Abs is also mentioning Joseph Tiopo. Is this
very
League
good.
One or Championship? Timmy's saying the refs need to go to Specsavers. Harry's Harry. Don't worry, mate. Look, many before you have tried and failed, mate. So, mate, please take a ticket, jump in line, mate. The bigger they are, the harder they fall, buddy. Don't worry, mate. It's okay. It's all good, mate. The many have made mistakes before in the past. It's okay, mate. I'll let it slip for you, mate. It's all right. Roz, 8K soon to be League One if this continues.
Harry, you're not going to start ringing. You're not going to start ringing gas at halftime.
Let's go. Oh no,
threatening him and stuff, mate, because he said that. Are ya?
Is that that's what like that's what you cop
Woods onto the.
That's what you cop
the kennel. And start threatening you at halftime, mate, while you're watching the footy with your daughter.
No late footwork, Harry. Run it straight, buddy. Run it straight and run it hard. Max King back next week. Shame. I don't think so. Maybe. I mean, what's he's not doing soup anymore. He's eating full food, so you never know. It was okay for Reece Walsh, but maybe put a helmet on him. Light work. Okay, mate. No worries, mate. Let's go. Yalla. Let's go.
What's Ya mean? Yaga-san.
Maybe he's just Yaga-san. No, probably like just
Whatever.
Dykes broke 3 blokes' ankles with that try. Yes. Do you guys know how much Tracy was signed for? I don't know. There was talk about 500.
It's between 425 and 550, I would say, would be a fair amount based on what he'd done for our team at this point.
and an increase on what he'd done before as well. So he was probably what 253. I don't think he's 800. Maybe for 2 years. Maybe for 2 years, Harry.
800, Harry.
Yeah, no, I don't think so, Harry.
If you get some info on that and you're right, mate.
Maybe if he's playing for PNG, mate.
Tax free.
Who's Finch? Do you mean Brett Finch?
6 tackles with Finch. They're
6
they're
again.
a couple of blokes, and Harry goes on there as well. Harry, they're his best mates.
There you go.
Very passionate Bulldogs fans, and
Timmy, just ask Harry. He's all over it, mate.
Finch 360.
Finch 360. There you go.
They're good blokes.
I haven't listened to it.
Brian Dibb actually told me that it was the 6 again guys from Finch that were ringing me up and that were trolling us last year. That's what Brian Dibb was trying to say. And I said, fuck off, mate.
Dolphins are building nicely into this
All good
season,
fun.
have a lot of strike with a great 7. Dogs going to have to be on their game like they were. Well, mate, they're only 3 from 8 as well. So they've just come off a 4-game losing streak and beaten a team that's lost 7 in a row. So hopefully they got their win out of the way. And everyone's expecting them to win, mate. So that's better
Big
for us.
shout out, though. Daniel Saifidi, medical retirement announced.
Yeah.
Really good player. I think his dad's a friend on Facebook. His dad's name's Daniel as well, I think. But very unfortunate shoulder injury. Couldn't get it right, and medical retirement. So he'll be missed from them.
Pete's thrown his weight in behind Tracy. He was on about 425. He's guessing 600. I don't even know if he was on 425. I don't know.
Yeah, he's on about 4 to 4. That's
previously.
Yeah.
Okay.
4 to 425 is what we heard.
Okay. Zach's asking, does anyone hate creepy Paul Crawley as much as me, or does anyone know how we can put our club down? I don't know why.
At the end of the podcast, we'll actually have a song that Dave has done for Creepy Crawley, and you can enjoy it very much.
We spoke about this one before, Has. There was quite a few different comments. We spoke about it before about how he's asking what are the comments. He's asking Zach what are the comments that he wants him to revise. Send the comments. Do a revision.
About what?
Harry is asking Zach to revise, to put a comment about what does Crawley say. He's asking him give us a summary, basically.
Oh, okay.
So yes.
Sorry, mate.
You're good. All good. It's okay. Has the team been shown? Yes, teams were out today.
It's actually it's scrolling across the bottom there, Jace.
Including some of the sponsors as well for all the players.
So that's all the players, and I'll have the New South Wales Cup and Jersey flag and Ron Massey to show as well soon.
Sorry, Timmy, never watched Star Wars in my life, mate.
Oh,
may the force be with you.
Hey, there was a lot
Star
of
Wars or Star Trek?
all the old Steam game, all the old Knights of the Old Republic and all that with only like $2 on Steam yesterday, Timmy. All the old ones.
The only thing I know about it is what
Academy.
when they talk about it from Big Bang Theory. That's it. And they talk about it a lot. Glad Patrick Young is getting minutes at Cup. He's looking very creative and knows when to run.
I actually was talking the other day that Daniel O'Donnell or whatever his name was playing that game and then backed up in Massey. O'Donnell was dropped back to Massey. That was Patrick Young.
Patrick Young that jumped up, yeah.
He jumped up from flag. Very good attacking player, guys, and one that they're very excited about.
Well, he's in our top 30, right?
He's in our top 30, but it's just that contact in defense and stuff at the moment.
Yeah.
So he's into that side now. He'll probably get more and more minutes if he can.
Well, he's been trained by the best defensive coach.
He's a contender to have a crack.
He's got the best defensive coach to train him, so it's we've improved a lot of defensive plays on a lot of players. So as a hooker, that's going to become their bread and butter. 40, 50 tackles a game.
That's it.
Yes, team list has been on, and we've got it running down the bottom there as well. Brian, no funnier word than expert, kind of insinuates that they know everything. Yes. Tansy, the guy before Saturday Bryant coached under Melbourne Storm trio. Anyone could make that successful.
See what I said. See what I told you guys. I said that's what the other narrative will be.
But hang on a sec. Like they talk about.
I told you. I said it.
Next, they'll tell us that Craig Bellamy tried to coach New South Wales and failed because he didn't have his players with him. Is that right?
Yeah.
Is that how it works? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, he's only a successful coach because he had those players. Anyone could do it.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Did he lose round one again? Has he won every round one? And has he made a lot of grand finals and done a lot of stuff? But yeah. Okay.
Yeah. That's it.
The journos on 360 asked about Conti. Yeah, we spoke about that earlier. That was a setup, Timmy. Didn't you see the way Bulldog was playing dumb on that one, asking him?
Oh. Have they got any other halves there, Braith?
Oh, there's a guy called Conti. You know about him, don't you, Braith?
Huh.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I can't say much about him because I manage him. And then he just started talking about him anyway. Yeah, of course you can. You can play 6 or 7. Yeah, you can do it. Yeah, of course. Yeah, thanks. Yes, 100% we can win.
Win any week, mate. We can win.
Yes.
You got to believe.
That's
what it's all about. You go to school saying the Bulldogs going to win this week, and everyone says you're a fool. Even the Bulldog supporters will go, no, they're not going to win, brother. And then they lose, and you just got to stand there and take it, mate.
Well, to give you an example, what was the heading of the other podcast that was on tonight? Dolphins by how much? That was their heading. So no one thinks that. Not everyone thinks we're going to win, but some positive people do think so. And supporters.
And what did they say a few weeks earlier about Penrith? You know?
Yeah. Oh, don't even start with that one.
They're actually going to change and start supporting Penrith or something. It's hilarious.
Bulldog supporter, every time somebody is off contract and is disgruntled, somebody sticks a Bulldog jersey on him as if he's coming to our club. Don't believe it. Don't worry about it. There's every chance he's probably going to go to PNG, so don't worry.
Yeah.
Luai, now that he's gone, has started something now.
Because PNG's there now.
That's it.
Every player is going to be linked to PNG.
That's it. So, but everyone was going to stick a Bulldog jersey on Spencer, on anyone. I saw another one that had a Connor Watson with a Bulldog jersey. It just suits. Now that everyone's got AI, everyone just wants to play games. Don't worry about it, mate. Don't believe them. Gus has never met them, so it won't happen.
Well, they're going to say, that's what I mean. Oh, Gould's failed to get another player.
Yeah. Buller was never coming, guys. Don't worry about he was never coming to the club. They were just playing games just to try to make sure that they got a little bit more out of the Tigers. Don't worry about the rest of it, guys. He was never coming. Hopefully Maxi King is back soon. Him and Thompson will be a good duo.
100%.
Maxi King's one that we've really missed 100%. Is a big loss.
We need him.
The ref in the Knights versus Souths game, he was off his head. Is that the one that mentioned too much force to Kalen Ponga? What the hell was that? Have you ever heard that before? Too much force.
Too much force.
What are you supposed to do? Too much force.
It was the force.
What's
the Jedi force?
To do? Like, can you make a tackle and have to control how heavy you hit in the tackle? If you're hitting them legitimately, what's the problem? Seems like they're focusing more on attack. Need to go back with the defense where the teams.
Well, James, I will say, matey, that when you spoke to when Preston that were being asked questions, they never referred to their attack once. They were just like, oh yeah, maybe, but it was like when they were talking about the tries they let in. You know, we're having micro sleeps, which is a nice way of saying they've just fallen asleep for
switching off,
switched off for a split second, and let in points that they pride themselves on not letting in, and that's and And that's good. I'm glad they're focused on that.
Brenton, great potty, fellas. From a Knights fan, we have been through the tough years. You guys will pull through. Thanks for the support, buddy.
Thanks, bro. And
Zachary,
we love the Knights fans. I think I've only seen you boo once, and that was last year. But even 3 wooden spoons, no booing. It was great.
always hating making out Burton is unsettled in the team when he's the only one bringing it up, talking about Gus ruining it. Yep.
That's it.
Timmy, what do you
I'll
got?
have an article about what Crawley and that are doing and why they do it, and it's their job to do it, right?
Mm.
But when it comes to Gus and News Corp, News Corp make it very easy for fans to hate Gus. And unfortunately, Bulldogs fans, they say the North never forgets in Game of Thrones. When Gus is there with the Roosters or with another club, and you can sort of see that he's maybe backing them at that point or going for them. You know, he was a Dragon supporter as a kid. They took offence to that, and when he come back to the club, but there's people who know Dean Pay, and when he was asked, well, how could you go to Para? Why didn't you stay at the Bulldogs? And his answer was, fuck the Bulldogs. He ended up coming back as our coach.
Here's the follow-up, mate, to it.
It's a business.
Burton is unsettled. Gus is ruining the club with his utilities. Critter is protected species. Ciro is making too many changes, constantly creating narratives. Yep. And a lot of that, like Michael said, is driven by comments that people, like supporters, are talking about and debating online, and the media is pulling that out, and then it's
just a cycle.
That's it.
It's like this, guys. If you say if you say a comment, and then I haven't heard your comment, but you're listening to me, and then I say what you agree with, you feel good about that. It's like, oh, here's someone online, and there's 6 people watching, apparently, who agree. And then the media comes out and says it, well, you've hit the double banger. So what a lot of podcasters will do, sometimes out of passion, sometimes out of really smart marketing, is they make sure they align with the fans wherever they go. If you're learning on how to do all this stuff, like I work for news, right? I understand a lot of that stuff, and I've spoken to people who understand that stuff. My role wasn't always doing that stuff, right? You know, I was very much involved with sales and benefiting from what the articles and the narratives brought, right? So managing sales teams and stuff. And the way that all works is that if you get the fans divided on an issue, and you can plug into both sides of that, and you say what this guy's saying, so all they do now with the TV show is they go, okay, well, you 3 guys need to press this issue the most, and the other one sort of plays devil's advocate, and that way you get someone representing everybody's view that's already out there harvested in the data that they get. And there's people at Nine and Fox and other places that are subscribing to this channel right now and getting data from it, and hearing what people's narratives and what they say, right? I'm not that important, guys, but there are, like, when you get to a certain level, and that's what starts to happen. But more so on what people are sending comments to, like those to Bloke and Willie and Guru and all those people, right? So when they get all that stuff, they sit there and go, okay, well, we're going to talk about this guy all the time, and you can and some people naturally do it. And then there's some other little agendas that they have. And then they repeat all that stuff. And then you as the viewer go, oh, he's representing what I say. And then you got these social media people who make sure they repeat all that stuff as well. And everyone just gets to bounce off the algorithm that way.
Can I just interrupt you there for a sec, mate? We've got a special comment I want to put up. We've got a special gentleman here who would like to thank us and the club for giving his son AJ an opportunity and an awesome weekend and a proud experience for the family. So humble to witness our son's debut. So
Thank you so.
big-
That's AJ
big
Jones's
applause.
dad.
Thank you, mate. Absolute legend. And mate, great seeing you at the game the other day. We didn't come and say hello, but you were very busy with your son and celebration. And I mentioned it on Sunday. It was great to see the whole team come over and do that celebration with all the family and the team, the big team photo. Even after the result, they all stuck around and did that. And it was great that you were able to come over and experience that with your son. But we're all happy to be part of the support, and hopefully it's only just going to be bigger and better moving forward.
I feel like we should show AJ's little what the club did. Beautiful
have a
little
look.
snippet.
Let's have a look, mate. Why not?
Let me go there. What am I doing? I won't be too long, guys.
I'll
We've got AJ's little snippet there. Here we go.
the AI Bulldogs jersey stuff does your head in too, Timmy. Yes, no worries, mate. It's just so easy these days for everyone to do that, Timmy.
On debut. New Canterbury Bankstown Bulldog. The new man, AJ. Jones.
Bang.
Now I'll probably have to delete that out of the podcast later, but I'll get rid of the song or whatever. But yeah, thank you so much, Mr. Jones. I love that song too. But and he also donated to us during the off season, the lead up in the week before Vegas as well. So never forget that show of appreciation, mate. So
there's a follow up as well. Thank you so much to the Bulldogs, the family club, for getting us a family of 7 to witness a beautiful occasion. The club get the family on that Friday morning, put us on a 5-star hotel as well.
Wow.
Unbelievable. Yeah, that's what they do, mate. Unbelievable. So
family club, mate. The family
glad
club.
that you were there to enjoy it and see it. So yeah, awesome stuff. Awesome stuff.
And I also say is the fans have waited a long time for AJ to make that debut, and Gus obviously sort of put a target on his back last year and said he will play, and he's the guy that I'm most excited about. And he's just the things I've heard, he's just a real man for such, like, he's obviously a young boy, but he's already a man, you know, and that's great feedback to get as a young guy. So yeah, very it was just great to see, and I think that's the stuff that gives fans hope, especially the ones that are feeling pretty dark about things at the moment. That's where it all comes from, and you know, it's really good to see that. And thanks for coming and saying hello on our humble little podcast, because we love the club, and that just reinforces why we love our club, because of what they do for the parents and the special way they make the debuts. And that's why Gus was raised. And one of the issues with this 6-man bench, it's really hard to sort of outright give a kid a debut, because when you trust in your next man up sort of thing, and they've got to sort of come in as that 4th guy, they may not get a run, you know. So obviously they decided that he was going to be the 1st or 2nd hit up, as Harry would know. I sent Harry a message about that AJ will be first or second man off the bench,
Mhm.
and he's very happy to hear that.
He's
go.
I was there at Belmore to see the hit he did on Cade Reed. Cade
Yes.
doesn't remember much about that at all. It's unfortunate that he copped the fine, which turned into a suspension, but
Yeah.
Cade doesn't remember much about that at all, and that's what we want to see. It wasn't a late tackle. It was just on time, and it was hard. That's what we want. Hit them hard and hit them and make them know that you've hit them. So that's what we've got.
Well, let's keep it going.
Brenton is saying Liam Kennedy is not a good ref. Do you think we'll miss Kurt Mann, or do you think Jones will fit right in and do a good job? Well, we have to say that now, mate. Even if we weren't going to, we have to say that now, mate. Sorry, mate.
Yeah. Of course, he's going to do a bloody good job.
He's, mate. It's
He might-
anyone next man up. Remember, the Dogs keep telling me next man up. Whoever we put in is going to do the job. So.
Well, I think him and Curran and Harry Hayes are the three that are going to come on, and where they play, I'm not sure. They'll be playing. The three of them will be playing middle, but look, there's also the chance they might say AJ's playing on the edge, or I doubt that's going to happen, but he has played some edge coming through. I think he is a middle. Just in my thoughts from what I've seen. But there's a chance Harry could play on the edge and start.
Yep.
Or they might just go, we'll put Curran there again just to make everyone happy.
Old fella Dave, too much force is legit the dumbest crap I've ever heard. It's dead set moronic, mate. It was crazy. Shall we? Not force, it was fuss. Please explain it to the listeners. Oh my God.
There we go.
Timmy watches the memes. Yes, Timmy.
Yes. Love it, Timmy.
Bopper, for me, it seems Birdo would be good at lock only for attack at the moment. I think he'd struggle on defense.
He would. Oh, look, he'd hit. Burton would hit some, smash some blokes. He would.
Brian, talking about PNG, what's your thoughts on their tax-free situation? Totally unfair, in my opinion. Bears seem to have hit a wall with recruitment since that was mentioned. I will say one thing about that. If you put it into perspective, guys, just getting people to go over to look, I haven't been to PNG, but I've been to a lot of similar countries in the Pacific, etc. But going to PNG, the living standard style, the way they're going to live over there, my understanding is they're going to be sort of in the sort of COVID camp style environment there. It's not just normal as it's going to be where you are anywhere you go now, Sydney, Melbourne, wherever, Brisbane. It's not going to be just so. Anyone who does go there for that period of time potentially has to make a sacrifice on their ordinary, normal day-to-day operations. Yes, it's potentially going to be safe for them there, but it's not going to be a normal type of environment that you're going to have. There's going to be things that you're going to be missing, taken away from you, family, whatever. You know, your whole life that you're uprooting back home. So to go over there, there's a big sacrifice that has to be made by each player. Yes, it's only going to be for a short period of time, couple of years, whatever it might be, but there needs to be that reward. So I've got no problem with it because it's basically, you know, it's sometimes how you have to go to get people over there. And now that you've got one big fish, all of a sudden it's a problem. Where at the moment, no one was thinking that anybody was going to be signed up or going, etc., or how they're going to get someone over there. But now they've got one big fish. You're going to find a lot of people now jumping on the back of that and going, well, you know what? I'm 28. I've got a couple of years left. I'm going to go over there and make the money while I can because my time is short in this game, and so be it. So
I've actually done my research in this, so I probably should give this some airtime. The fact of the matter is that Port Moresby isn't it's not a city. It's made up of villages, and there's things they can and can't control. It's not saying everyone's a savage and everyone's bad or anything like that. It's just it has its problems, and there's things that the players will need to be sort of shielded from, if that makes sense. And what they're trying to do is lift the standards in that place for it. Trying to get kids to go to school is hard, right? So they're trying to they want to lift standards there through excellence. Now, the one thing people aren't talking about is that this is their national sport. They will want to produce a lot of people from Papua New Guinea. They will want to, and the fact that they could sit there and potentially have 6 people on a development contract, have New South Wales Cup players, or sorry, Queensland Cup players, whatever it is, and then have, they could have 5 or 10 people on their roster on minimum wage, and they're literally some of the most richest Papua New Guinean people in their country, right there and then. So they can get a lot of value out of their players that they need to develop, and to get them up to standard over the next 10 to 20 years. So compound living is something that a lot of people already do over there, especially they've got a lot of mines, a lot of really, really rich in resources. They should be a richer country than they are. But there's massive challenges over there with all sorts of stuff. So, people do need to have some incentive to go there. Do I believe they'll sit there and just have the best team of all time? They might for 1 or 2 years. I really don't care. I think it'll affect Bulldogs. I think it'll affect all rugby league teams. And I think that the tax stuff needs to be very temporary, right? And I don't think it should be available to everyone all the time. So that's what needs to look at that and go, okay, your first contract, you can be tax-free for maybe 2 years, but that's it. But still, that's a hell of a lot of money, comparatively. It does make it harder on the Bears. But look, all the clubs have been given $4 million as a sweetener. So I agree with you. So that enables them to, secure their foundations or do what they've got to do, and probably invest that money in keeping young kids.
They've got 18 players signed as well already, the Bears, so they've got the advantage of having a few people already locked up, and they do start a year earlier as well. So,
and look, they've got 5,000 juniors, 5,000 junior players. Well, it's not the same as one area, but and some of those clubs play all right footy, like they're the Western Australian, I think under 20s or something, like beat all the other teams, like the Victorian side and the combined other sides and stuff. Like they go all right. Like Western Australia could produce some tough, good footballers over time, but it's got to be a 2-decade project. This discussion that you've got to secure the big egg, and you got to secure, you got to be winning. Like you want to be competitive, obviously, but they just need to keep at it. And it's not, look, the Melbourne Storm were basically assembled with the best players from 3 teams when they started.
Mainly out of Brisbane.
Yeah. They're a Queensland team. Now they've developed though over time to becoming a Victorian team. Right. And that's going to continue to improve, and they'll have some more, they will have some setbacks in making that happen. Their depth will get tested at different times as they have that feeder stuff, not just Queenslanders up here and journeymen and young guys that they turn into Craig Bellamy type players. It's going to be developed from within. Saya Fa'alongo I'm pretty sure he's, I don't think he's playing for Queensland or New South Wales, is what I'm saying. I think he's from Victoria. He's always been in Victoria. I hope I'm right about that. I might be wrong. Next one, mate.
Pete's mentioning also that looking ahead, Renakama, Spinks, and Gordon all named in New South Wales Cup as well, which is which the Bulldogs tend to do. Brian, I guess if you mention you don't watch Game of Thrones, I don't think we can be friends. Moving right along.
I can't wait for the next prequel that should be out this year.
The Bears have gone into hibernation mode with PNG tax-free recruitment drive. Yep. The only one who back us is Riccio and James Graham. Don't let me get started on Hanasta the Two-Face. Yep.
Ricky cares about players.
The bunker for the game on Thursday night is Ashley Klein. There you go. It was great to see your young bloke get a crack. AJ did us proud. Yes. Congratulations, AJ and your family. Love from the Bulldog. Thanks, Brian. Thank you, guys. Bulldog Mike. Old fella Dave, Mr. Jones, he had a great game, took the opportunity with both hands. Can't wait to see how he develops and what he accomplishes in the blue and white. Yes. Good on you, Mr. Jones. So happy for AJ getting up. Yep. Lots of love here for you, mate, from everyone.
There you go.
How can you run a narrative that Burton is unsettled and he doesn't know his role when he has played 6 since he's been a Bulldog, other than a few times in the setter due to injuries?
100%, Zachary. It's all been due to injuries is why he moves. It's never because, or like in the semi-final against Penrith, it was about trying to have it was due to injuries because we had no other centres. So.
Yep, and he's lost every time. But anyway, Mr. Jones, thanks for sharing what the dog's done for you. It brought a tear to my eye.
Beautiful,
awesome,
mate.
Brian. Love the video that we just showed. Yep. Thanks, Timmy. Mike Cool. Massive congratulations, Mr. Jones, to your family, your son. He's a great kid with a whole career in front of him. Thank you. Tansy, liking the look of Mr. Jones. Yes.
There you go.
A great moment, Mr. AJ Senior. Loved it. Thank you, Pete. Mr. Jones, your son is a beast, brother. Loved watching him from the lower grades and now making it to the big league. Great achievement. Your son will be a star. Once match fitness is up to standard, look out. Yeah, well, he's getting there, mate. He's getting there.
See? That's why you had to get Bar TV a few weeks ago, Harry.
Brian agrees they will be in a compound, but they themselves will live like kings.
That's
but
it.
you're still controlled. It'll be like a long-term holiday, if that makes sense.
It might galvanise them for a couple of years, and they might do really well to start, but to get them off to a thing. But I think after that, it would be hard. It'd be very hard.
Old fella Dave, the Gold Coast has one of the best junior nurseries in the country, Kebra Park, Palm Beach, Currumbin, etc. Yet after 30 years, they are still struggling. Going to be tough for the Bears, I reckon. And they've tried before, obviously, at Perth as well previously. So it's not the first time. But also, how many goes did Gold Coast try as well? The Seagulls and all the Chargers, they kept coming and coming and coming. It hasn't been always rock solid. But and even now, there's a lot of investment in there from some ex-players into the Gold Coast.
And Gold Coast is actually rugby league.
Yeah, Heartland.
It's a rugby league place.
Yep.
AFL sort of got into there, and it's going pretty well. But any sport can be in there. It's just a different place. They're not the working class.
Perth has got a sporting sort of, they love their sport over there. They're very passionate. They're very strong, and they do well. Like the Western Reds didn't do so well before, but that was a short sample size. But in all the sports now, the cricket, everything they do, like the guys, they're strong. Like, and the AFL, whatever they've got, they get behind them. They go out and they support. So if they build the right mechanisms in place, there's no reason why they can't be a successful team over there, in the future.
That Channel 7 show with Corey Parker and that, the only reason that exists is because the Perth Bears are coming to the comp.
There you go.
It's Channel 7. Rupert isn't over there. It's Channel 7 in WA.
Yep.
So they need a rugby league show. And they want Channel 7's their big thing. And that's why their CEO, I think, is from Channel 7. So yeah, they want to talk league all the time and get people focused on it. And they were making ground. It was just the Super League war which ended it. Something had to give, and that was where they pulled the pin.
Sua Falongo came through the Melbourne Juniors.
There you go. That's it.
Right.
I knew he did.
By the time Burton wins a game at centre, we would have won the comp.
Mate,
Hopefully,
that'll be a
mate.
stat you'll be able to go back to too, Mike.
And Pete, on with the cup, guys. Let's go, mate. Hey, have we got a draw to do, mate, or what? Let's get this thing rolling, eh? Have you got that set up or what?
I just need to put the other teams going through. I haven't got it set up, no.
Well, you might want to get cracking, mate. Not going to be easy for the Bears, but a lot more money and patience in the NRL these days. Yeah. Look, it's going to be challenging for them, but look, it's let's see how the expansion goes. But it's always going to be a little bit of a challenge for the NRL's draw. You know, the way that they do it and how you don't play everyone twice, so it's never going to be a fair contest, etc. Tim, are you in the draw? We will find out soon, mate. This is going back from last week, I think. We did this one last Sunday, Tuesday, then we had another contribution Sunday, then today. So we've had some support today. So we should be in credit over the 100. So don't forget, guys, also there's a little barcode up there for the Walk for Autism. So myself and Michael, we're doing
Tell me if
minimum
that works, guys. I'm not sure if it's working. That
minimum 7. I tested it before it worked from my side.
Oh, that's good.
If you scan your phone, yeah. We're doing a minimum 7,000 steps a day. A lot of us have got people that have got that have had some autism in their lives and support, etc. Always helpful. So we've got a target of raising money, and for those of you who've already contributed, thank you very much. For those who haven't, by all means, you can scan that code there and throw a bit of support. So as soon as this podcast is over, I need to go out in the night sky and finish my meters and my steps. So Brian, no, Tim, we done a poll and you're permanently banned. That's it. Timmy, the people have spoken, mate. You're out. Sorry, mate. That's it. He said, don't pick on him, Brian, mate. He was doing his Bible study, mate. Don't pick on him. He was late, but not. I'm sure he would have been thinking about us while he was studying, mate.
Nearly there. Just had to get my spreadsheet. Lawrence, Elaine.
Timmy, usually by this stage, you give us a score prediction. What do you think, Timmy? And just quickly, guys, while we're waiting, I'll quickly read out the team for the New South Wales Cup. So Tate Cochran's been put back at fullback. Jethro, Sasaya Alatini, Jed Reardon, Milo Setu. So we met Milo Setu the other day, guys. Him and Jethro we caught them leaving the stadium, and we got Aki took a photo with them. So if you want, I can share that with you. We got a bit of time up our sleeve. Here we go, guys. There's the boys, Setu and Jethro with Aki and the banner. Cade Dykes is named back at 5'8", with Alex Conti at halfback, Fletcher Baker, Gordon, Chan Kum Tong, Jack Underhill, Logan Spinks in the second row and captain, Lewis Grossamy in the second row and Zion Mayu. Interchange, Patrick Young, DCF, Daniel Saluka Fafita, Justin Matamua, and Femi Tolalo. And no reserves named around that. So they'll be facing the Roosters on Saturday at Belmore Sports Ground, 2:15 kickoff, guys. There's the team there with MJ. Best time to go for a walk is the middle of the day. Mike Cool, Bulldogs 24-12. That's good. Brian 30-22, Dogs. Yep. 30-12. Yep, I like that. What is the draw for? How to enter? And does prize apply outside Australia? So the draw is basically when you do your chat contributions to the page, or if you do your pay ID to Michael, etc., whichever way you contribute, any money that you contribute to this YouTube channel, etc. Basically, you go into a draw and you win either, generally in Australia, I guess, a team store like to the value of $30 or $40 if you're local, and we can just deliver it to you by hand. So you get some merchandise, some stuff from the Bulldog store. But
he's
he's in
British
the UK.
Bulldog.
That's why.
He's in
Yeah,
the UK. So
that's right. That's
we
why I'm
probably
explaining
do like
locally.
a transfer or something. But it would be
Yeah.
hard. Unless I don't know if you can do pay ID in bank accounts overseas.
But it's not too late, guys. Anybody who's not in the draw yet, you can contribute to a super chat of some sort, and that'll get you in the draw.
Put me in the draw, Mike. Mate, with that tip about who was starting, what was that worth to you, brother?
18-10 dogs.
Harry, if you look when you run at gas, if you knock gas over, I'll put you in the draw.
Oh, there you go, mate.
Oh, I love a bit of run it straight. I like watching it. I wouldn't want to be participating in it.
There's some crazies in that one, mate.
Unless I have to.
What's your guys' thoughts on DCF not making the team this year? I don't see lower grades. Has he been injured or just not making the cut?
It was injured. Well, he was injured with back spasms for ages. He was supposed to. He would have been on the trip to Vegas.
Correct.
And being a part of that side and stuff. But yeah, and now he's just getting his fitness back. He's been coming off the benching cup. So, you know, maybe it's not going that good at the moment, but he's not starting. So that's not a good. When he starts starting and playing minutes in cup, then we'll know that he's going to be part of the conversation moving forward. But till he's starting in cup, I don't see him being named in NRL. Last week was okay without being brilliant.
Mick, the prize this time, is it the voucher still?
Yeah, it's still the voucher, and then after that we'll after that we will be anyone who's sort of donating, it'll be going for a jersey, which will be drawn in the end of May. So, you know, if you remember, you get a ticket. Once you've either done a super chat or a pay ID
transfer
or buy me a coffee or whatever it is, a Patreon, or if you donate to the autism. So the people who have done that, they've already got a ticket, and then it gets doubled if they're also a paying member as well. So there's a few people with a couple of tickets already. But what we're doing right now is for this $40 draw, because it's been happening over since last week.
Yep.
Yeah. So, which is good because he's given so much money. I always feel bad sometimes.
Timmy, it was the plan to go. Everything was lined up, and then I've had some changes happen. So this will be my first miss in Australia this year, unfortunately. So I've only missed the Vegas game this year so far. Harry is predicting 44-20 to the Dolphins. Ooh, unpopular Harry. But if that helps you sleep at night, Harry, then by all means, you do that, buddy.
Oh, a bit of banter.
British Bulldog is actually in Korea, but British would like to buy and get a jersey delivered here from the club shop, but they only mention New Zealand in the FAQs. If you don't win this one, mate, let us know. I'm happy to get it from the store and work out to send it to you to Korea, mate. Just whatever. If you're happy to pay for it, I can help facilitate that for you if you want. So just reach out to us, and let us know if you want a jersey, and I'll help you organize that if you want.
It might be able to do it through eBay or something as well.
Whatever it might be, we can work something out. Harry, Mike, cool. I'll run it straight at Gas and I'll put him on his back. Put me in the draw. That's it. That's it.
Gonna call you. Gonna do this. Gonna do this. And gonna do that.
That's
Harry.
it. All these guys,
From Gonna
Harry
Do.
and Mike, cool. Yes, yes.
Let me have a look.
Harry sent you $80 to your number. Put
80
him
rupees.
in. Look out, Gas. You have Harry and Mike trying to. That's all right, Tim. That's all right.
I
He's
got 10
triggered
from
this.
Brian. Got 10 from Brian. We're getting close, brothers. Roy Chic 1M. What's that mean?
Yeah. Harry. Dirty Harry.
Dirty Harry.
Absolute play also will check from. Yeah, no worries. Oh yeah, I know what he means. Yes, Rasha Khunam. Yeah, he's saying he's trying to say basically go and have a pee and go to sleep. That's like a term that we would say. Yes.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, yeah. Don't worry, mate. After all the drinking, mate, definitely need to pee, mate. Don't worry.
Go do a wee wee.
But yeah, it'll be doing that. Then I'll be going for the walk, mate. So going for the walk.
Oh, so I'm nearly there, guys.
I see a lot of rabbits running around out there. It's all right.
We've got Lawrence.
Yeah, Mike, can you read it again, mate? Harry wants to hear you say it again. Here, mate, I'll put it on there for you. Hang on a sec. Go, mate. Can you say it again?
Roy Chic Nem. Is that how I say it?
Harry, good luck with that, mate.
Well, I got an Arabian mate. Well, he's actually, he's Lebanese, but living in Canada, and he actually went to Harvard. And he told me that we play this game against, against people in Saudi Arabia and Qatar, like princes and stuff. They can't gamble, so they play these horse racing games, and they spend like, 20 grand a drop Australian to beat us. But it's a play to win game. You can actually play to win. It just takes you a long time. And anyway, they're like, mate, Mick Toole. My name was Michael Toole, because that was my band, and they used to say, Mick Toole, we buy your stable from you, And then when they'd lose all the time, they'd be like saying this, that, and the other. And my mate said, he goes, just say Kolkara pig. I started getting hacked. I started getting fucking everything happened to me afterwards. I said, what's that mean? He goes,
Harry, we're
like
lucky he's still with us,
you
mate.
can say.
We're lucky he's still with us,
you
mate.
pig or something.
Lucky he wasn't assassinated, mate.
Because I was the number one player in the entire world game of this game.
There's another contribution there, mate.
Thank you, Michael.
Harry, yeah.
Well, someone's got to make your night, mate, because the Bulldogs haven't been doing a good job of it lately, brother.
That's it.
Oh, yeah, we'll whack Michael in there.
Timmy, if you notice, I haven't been clicking on those, mate. Don't encourage him. Timmy, come on, mate. We nearly got through the night, mate. Come on.
Oh, there we go. I've got to give Lawrence is in there twice, is he? Yep. We're there. And there was another guy who paid 100 rupees or something the other day, but I'm not sure where he's. Anyway, let's do this.
Ladies and gentlemen.
I got to go for my walk, yeah?
Start your engines.
Still waiting to see if Harry's giving me a. Only takes a couple of bucks, Harry. Nah. Harry didn't give us any money, man. Next time, Harry. Next time, Harry. We got the jersey. We got the jersey. We're gonna get the drum roll, brother.
I'm ready, mate. I'm ready. Let's go. Let's fire up, mate. Let's fire up. Is that the best one you've got, or is there another one that you use for this? To
This
put
is
that
it,
on,
bro.
mate? That's it. All right, mate.
Let's do it.
Let's go.
Spin it. Here we go, people. Michael's won it.
There you go.
Well done, Mikey. You come in late and you've won the $40 voucher.
There you go.
And I'm
guys.
sure you can meet with Gas to collect something from the store, brother. Well done, mate. Well, look, you've been a long, Harry. Look, Mike's been a long-term contributor to this channel. Contributed a lot of stats. It's a community. As we say, everyone has their day. And well done to you, Mike.
That's it. That's it, guys. The offer was there for anyone to get in. That's it.
That's it. That's it, Mike. It all adds. We'll get 55 cents to the channel, and half of that money will be going to Walk for Autism. So all the monetization that we make this year this month.
Just a quick
half of
question.
that
Did
will be going.
Mike Cool have any other contribution from last week as well?
He's done some other. He's done about 3 other draws. He's done $2, $5, $1.
No, that's all right. I just want to see if he was in this draw already from last week. That's all.
No.
No?
Yeah, so
Okay. Cool.
How are you being nice? Or you? Looks like a kindergarten drawing. I don't know. Well, Mike's only in his teens. He actually went to school with Jethro Rinikama, so he knows him well.
There you go, guys.
And only 2 or 3 years ago, Jethro was about 5'7" or something. So he's like 6'3" now or something.
Yep.
So he's growing a lot.
Yep.
I love it. It's awesome.
It's cute.
There you go.
It's not as mean as yours has.
I'm actually an artist, but thanks.
If I was to draw, I don't even think I could draw it as good as the one that Mike Cool's got either.
Well, my first Bulldogs jersey, we ripped the logo off an old Cootamundra Bulldogs jersey, and my sister with the hobby text drew me the same Bulldog as Harry's actually got there. That was the Bulldog she drew me on my jersey. I used to wear it around very proudly. So Michael, if you're on Facebook or Instagram, you want to reach out. If you have a look at the team store, it's something that you want. We can order it. Gas can pick it up and give it to you at a game. That way you can spend up to $40.
If you're going to the game next week, in 2 weeks against Melbourne Storm,
2000th game.
2000th game. We can organise it then, mate.
Yep. And if there's something that you wanted to spend a little bit more on, just let us know. We'll see what we can do. But or maybe if you want to contribute somehow and whatever. People have done that before as well. So
this logo was created a couple of years ago. It wasn't done as easy as that. You need to.
It does look like it though. I will say.
Yeah.
Because we've all done it.
But now, because now the ChatGPT can find it as well and create that algorithm for it because it's already there.
Yeah, that's it.
So as soon as
they
started
made it
searching,
2 years ago. 2 years ago,
it was done a while ago.
Yeah, it approved.
They had to do secret shows to a lot of people, and then finally, once it was all the one that they wanted, they sent it to the NRL. So it's going to be there for a couple of years before they can change it. It doesn't just change that easy, and there's nothing in the pipeline at the moment. But
Mm.
from the club perspective, they're actually happy with it because it does a lot of things for them in the club and everything. It's always it just sits easy for them. All the marketing, it fits onto all the socials, all the marketing people and all that sort of stuff love it for all the things they can do with it compared to what they did before. So there is a big difference.
It's easy
there,
to
guys.
transfer onto badges and stuff like that. Apparently,
All sorts of stuff, guys.
there's
It's
all
so
this
many
stuff.
so
Yeah.
many permutations. And have a look at what they can do with it at the ground, guys. I took a video of this the other day. So look at the eyes. I've got that on the big screen. See the eyes.
Chat GPT can do that too with it.
Yeah, well, that's what they're doing at the ground now. See, and then there's on the
nice.
other side. On the other side, they're doing something. They were doing. So they're making it that mean look as well, guys. That different something different. So it's been very, very well received as well. So from what it was originally to what it is
From
now,
merch.
it's gone crazy as well.
But look, Harry, I appreciate. I never liked our 2004 logo. Never. Thought it looked shit. But guess what? I don't really care.
Sydney Bulldog logo lasted 1 year, but it's distinctive for one thing: a premiership year.
That's it.
1 year.
And it's a bit
and one
different back
premiership-
then. They could change
Yeah.
their logos a lot
As-
quicker.
exactly.
Now with branding and the NRL, because the
Mm.
NRL has its branding on everything. Like it makes money off teams and stuff as well. So there's all stuff they do.
And just to
that they
reiterate on
work they
Brian
send off.
here, he was not having a shot at the $1 contribution because he contributes for the sake of contributing anyway. The prizes are just secondary, but yeah, he just thought it was funny. That's all. So yeah, you weren't alone, mate.
I also want to do a big shout out to Elaine Uday, CJ's mum, and there'll be some hopefully exciting news coming up with CJ in coming days, weeks. Can't really say right now, but lots of things happening. But yeah, I sort of explained this. I chat to a lot of people, and you sort of talk about how things are going and whatever else, and yeah, she's done an amazing thing and sent my daughter. My daughter hasn't got it yet. It'll be coming tomorrow or the next day. Just a really beautiful package with some nice stuff in there for my daughter because of just a couple of things that have happened at home. So just great people that do wonderful things. So yeah, I just want to say a big thank you and let the community know that the great people we have in the Bulldogs family. And yeah, and we try and help each other in different ways the best we can. And well done to you, Michael. Very happy that you won. And
Well done, mate.
That's how it goes.
I think the logo will last a lot longer than the previous one. How they use the logo for marketing and such is genius. Harry's not.
I
so
really
sure.
like last year's. I will say last year's was my favourite of all time.
Yeah, this one here.
Yeah, I loved it.
Yeah,
I really
that was
liked
a nice
that.
one. I like that one too. Harry, I'll give another 2 years max before it goes back to original. It's not the logo that's gone crazy. It's the Bulldogs as a club. That's why it's successful. I didn't like the logo, but I love the Bulldogs. Yes, buddy. And if we win a couple of comps with it, everyone will love it and it'll be a reminder of the success we had with it. Correct. That's why I bought it, which I have for the past 10 plus years. That's it, mate. True supporter, buddy. Love it. Yeah, we do love Elaine and love CJ. And yes, mate, last year was the GOAT of logos. Yes, it was a beauty.
Well, there you go, guys. Great.
That's
night
it, guys.
tonight. We will probably have a preview out, the keys to victory. And hopefully I can find the right. So let's get that car started because I've been. Look, they were playing the way I said we needed to, but fuck. I think that's the first time I swore tonight, maybe.
That's all right.
All right, guys, we're going to play the Creepy Crawly song now for
And
everyone
before
to listen to.
Before we do that, this is what happened after Harry ran at me. Okay.
To you or to Harry? Or to both of you?
To both of us, I reckon.
Thank you, Dave.
Timmy, the flags will be ready soon. I'm hoping, mate. It's just a matter of getting the team, getting the team to sign them, mate. I think the team owes us a bit of our time since they're not doing anything in Brisbane. So it won't be long, mate. Won't be long.
Right, shit, one man.
What the hell? He can never get it, Harry. Give it to him every week, mate. He can never get it.
One M.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Roll
Jimmy,
over, Harry.
We'll have it soon.
Western Australia.
Oh my god! Oh my god! All right, guys, that's a wrap. Thanks, everyone.
Harry.
No, don't say that. Bloody hell!
Oh, bloody hell!
I haven't forgotten you, Timmy.
I might have to run it now.
Yeah. All
I'm
of
gonna have
you,
to run it.
Let's go. Let's go. All right,
Let's
mate.
go. Talk to you
See you later,
soon.
guys.
See you tomorrow, the next day. Let's go.
He's creeping, he's crawling, a headline every day. Twists it, spins it, tells you it's the only way. Storm in a teacup, drama on repeat, building up a narrative that's paper thin and weak. Parasite, shit stain, yeah, we've heard it all before. Shit stir, a headline hunter knocking at the door. He's creepy and crawling, cries over every story. Creepy, rewriting all the glory. Creepy, crawling, memory like glory. Round and round again, same recycled story. That crawly frown like the sky's about to fall. Every single sentence like he's breaking news to all. If there's peace in the game, he'll find a way to bite. Turn a quiet Tuesday into outrage overnight. With our guns and the Bulldogs, what's he even got? Clicks don't come easy when the headline's on hot. Chasing every rumor, dressing guesses up his back. Throw it at the wall and hope the noise brings it back. From buzz to the next one, same old circus show. Different face, same script. Everybody knows, talk it up, blow it out, make it sound profound, till the truth walks in and shuts it down. Follow. He's creepy and crawling, lives inside the story. Creepy, chasing all the glory. Creeping, crawling, nothing ever boring. It begins to click, he's back again by morning. Creepy, creepy, crawling. He's back again by morning.